for it.
But like I was trying to explain like stuff to Andrew about like the continent and things about that, and I was like, oh well, let's go to the map, and I was like pulling him out because I was just explaining some of the lore.
Hi, Governor and Saber.
If it was just a
Thanks for 30
paper with locales listed on it, it would be more useful than the world map.
Welcome, everyone.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how that got through.
Yep. We're here talking about we're just here talking about road atlases, everyone. Back from when you had to buy the Thomas guides. There we go. Welcome, everyone.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, for back in the ancient times.
That's actually what we're making today.
Yeah, you guys that's the magic item you guys are going to craft as a Thomas guide.
Oh,
speaking of which, however,
it'll be a TomTom once we're done with it. Don't worry.
Oh, a TomTom. That's actually sadder. That intermediate step between it just being on all phones automatically, and that's worse. Just have a Thomas guide. Welcome, everyone, to Dreamlands Theatre of the Mind for our very first installment of MEI, Magical Equipment Incorporated. This is a very fun game set in the Top Flight universe. I will urge, before we start playing, if you'd like to, you can go to our Discord. You can find the info here in our social stuff. But basically, you can go there and you can like read kind of all these. Is it socials? Is there an S at the end? Oh, Lord in heaven.
The apostrophe goes at the beginning.
Well,
or the exclamation point goes at the beginning.
I hate everything that's ever happened. There we go. So you can go to our Discord, and in the Dreamlands Theatre of the Mind category, there's a channel of MEI where I've posted some like infographics giving you some background on this game. And because this is a Top Flight one, there's a background of 2 different varieties. I've also emailed this to players, so if you don't have to have this committed to memory, but this is just info you may have. I have told you both the on the Discord you can find in these infographics the districts of the city of Ys where we are playing. The various sort of districts. You guys are, of course, in the Manors of Old. That is the area you're in, but there are other areas such as the Grand Galleria, Wonder Park, the Palace District, the Surf Wall, the Cauldron, High East, the Ruins, and the Reef. I actually drew a terrible drawing, which I sent to Jeremy. I should probably show you guys just for the sake of vague reference, but like, just so you're aware, like, this is a city that fell into the sea, and the walls that do it are sort of bowl-like. So, like, outside of the city are all the buildings that crashed and fell and are now ruins. And there are a few buildings that the bottom half of them are like ruins and like fish swimming around them and they've eroded, but the top half is still pristine, sticking up through the sort of magical water wall. So there's some real kind of interesting looks and vibes in this city, and very excited for us to play a game in such a wondrous place. And with such a fun tone, because, you know, a lot of the games I like to go real dark on, so this one's just a workplace comedy, and I'm excited. For now. Well, we'll see what genre. It will eventually be...
Third Time's a Charm was kind of a third of a workplace comedy.
1/3 a workplace comedy. 3/3 brilliant.
I'm hoping we create a workplace tragedy. I've never seen that before. So
that's just real life.
I think that's plenty of shows, though. It's MASH. Anyway, I don't have a second option.
Just one show.
The end of the list.
So many shows. We're talking MASH. Also, MASH is sort of
one
a
that
comedy.
ended 50 years ago.
Oh my god.
MASH is everything, so it doesn't really.
It's MASH is god.
You could call it a MASH show.
I get that MASH is good, but I just every time MASH came on, I'd be like, no, there's zero part of me that wants to watch this. So, one thing I will mention, this is in some of that backstory stuff that I have sent, and you guys can peruse at this up, but I'll just sort of say some names out loud that I have not yet said, but I can give you a little bit of knowledge of your past, and right now you will need to make the decision. As far as I understand it, the intention is that the 5 of you were all working at the same place. If anyone wanted to not be working there, however, you can sort of speak now, but the idea is that in Wonder Park, one of the highest-end magical crafting houses in the city, you can even find out about its history in Superstar Comics by reading History of the Super Spear in Superstar Comics, because it had been referenced and created by other... I went real deep today, guys, on these infographics. It's a lot. Okay, well, yeah, I guess I walked right into that one. Anyway, you guys were working for QDL, Quintessa Deluxe. Now, is this sort of like a DVF Diane von Faustberg reference in my mind? It's a little bit because Quintessa Deluxe, she is sort of a human woman, kind of in her 50s, big fashion designer energy, makes many amazing top tier, luxurious, kind of like highly sought after magic items. She is a grandmaster. She can craft things of legendary power. You all are master crafts people. Many still refer to it as master craftsmen. I probably will say that a few times, so apologies, but it is master crafts persons or people or a master crafter.
What about amorphous blobs?
They still would say men or people. You more so than Faunolin are being sort of not respected by the nomenclature. I also should mention that each of you is a card-carrying member in the Worshipful Company of Arcane Artisans. That is the guild in the city of Ys. You cannot, though you can work as a journeyman or an apprentice in a shop, you cannot sell magic items on your own of your own creation to design until you have created a masterwork, which all of you have done, and you are now here with your own shop because you worked at Quintessa Deluxe. She decided to finally acquire her rival, Radlin House, run by Zidian Radlin. He's like a snake man, kind of like Wanty sort of guy, very, very tricky and scary. She said, we're acquiring his whole operations. There won't be any layoffs. Smash cut to many of the master craftsmen there were laid off. Obviously, the start-up cost of starting your own house is very high, and most people, understandably, don't want to start their own. Everyone wants to name their crafting house after themselves, so they don't want to, go into business with each other. The 5 of you decided to go into business with each other. So your financial benefits of this, especially early on, won't be as high, but you do have the stability that you are all, very... We won't say you're super accomplished. You all have probably made your masterpieces in the last, year or two. But you all have proven that you can do it. And because Reginald was able to... Reginald had sort of the secret sauce of I have this manor house.
Parents, let's go!
Yeah, basically we can have this manor house from my rich aunt. It's been left to me from Reginald Ysmir. So you guys have basically put all the money you had. I was originally saying something to Jeremy. I realized here's how we'll get around that, but we can sort of talk about it at times. You also probably have made other items over the years. We will say that you guys have gone into Hawk and had to sell any items you crafted to gain apprentice or what other status. So you all kept your masterpiece, because of course you did. And presumably you're going to make yourself some items over the course of this game. But for now, you are all simply holding on to your masterpieces. Which again, Morthwill, could you tell us what your masterpiece is? Do you recall?
Yes. Will's, or Will for short, his masterwork is, let me get the actual name correct, it's a Rod of Hellish Flames, which allows him to have resistance to fire and necrotic damage, and can be used as an arcane focus, and also allows him to cast Hellish Rebuke level spell once per day, and whenever he casts a spell that does fire or necrotic damage, but usually just fire damage, he can use the rod to deal the maximum damage instead of rolling once per day.
Fun items. Mr. Glurk. Well, and Morthwill, I guess I'll ask everyone this as we go through as well. Morthwill, or Will, what did you work at QDL? Did you work at Quintessa Deluxe?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Glurk, what was your masterpiece?
The magic box, aka the abracadabras.
It's a Glurk box.
It's a Glurk box.
It's a Mr. Glurk box. Look at me.
Yep.
So Glurk. So yeah, and that basically can produce pretty much anything you ask for, provided it's not so expensive. It can kind of conjure stuff. It's very, very cool, very, very useful, very utile thing. It's the kind of thing that if you have that, you can survive. You could just give yourself food for a bit, give yourself water. So Mr. Glurk, did you also work at Quintessa Deluxe?
Sure.
Okay. Next up, I don't.
Don't give me that.
I hope that's his whole vibe, the whole game. Faunolin. Hello, Faunolin.
Well, I was gonna say I worked at the competitor, but
Yeah.
then I don't want to get
No, but-
confusing.
You could have done, because they would have laid off people from there as well. So if you'd like to have worked for Radlin House, you can.
Or it's just a guy who showed up.
Or he's just, or you didn't work for either.
He came with the workshop.
You're a plasmoid who showed up and were like, I made this, and they were like, yeah. So which do you want to be, Mr. Glurk? You must decide for now. Certainly the.
Okay,
What are you gonna do?
I'll just have him come from the same spot.
QDL. All right. Next up, we have Faunolin. Faunolin, what was your masterpiece?
I was going to ask, did you find a way to make it appear?
I have not had a chance to do that yet, so I
Okay.
think tonight we're just going to say
I
that.
forgot.
Oh, it's called. It's called the Mind Guard Crown.
I
But
knew it was a crown.
We can just call it the opal. We can call it the opal crown for you, because you
Yeah.
made it of opal. So it's the opal crown. And yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't put that on the sheet because I think maybe it's from
okay.
Anyway, we'll get to that later. But do you remember what it does?
If I scroll back in our text,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, if you scroll back in our text, you'll notice that it gives you that's probably about a 3-hour scroll for you. It gives you advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saves, and resistance to psychic damage. So the opal crown really keeps your head.
I just found it.
I'm so sorry. There's nothing.
You really have to go through all the pervy stuff.
God, we text some bad things. We text some things that are not acceptable for public consumption, and you hear the kinds of stuff we say on this channel. Anyway, Faunolin, did you also work at QDL?
Yes.
Perfect. Go ahead.
What?
Yeah, it's just funny that I wonder at what your phone looks like now, Philip, because it's like this is like cannot be said on this channel with what we say, and then all that like Kevin, you and I talk about is Snap and connections.
No. Every once in a while, it's I can't remember the name of the thing because we talk about it so much.
Strands.
Strands.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It's mainly
I
just
hate
Strands is. I'm this close to quitting Strands, just because it doesn't give me any joy. I'm gonna Marie
really a
Kondo
text
it
chain.
off of my routine.
It's a text chain for airing of grievances.
It's the airing of grievances. It's a Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Don't read them the Festivus text I sent KJ. Okay. Any case. Reginald, what was your masterpiece?
My masterpiece is the Peregrine Mask, which is
shit,
an
that's
artifact
right.
equipment from Ravnica, which costs 1 and has equipped 2, and it gives a creature defender, flying, and first strike.
He's doing a good.
But no, in D&D, it gives
doing
it
a good joke there. That's a good
flying
joke.
for 60 feet and advantage on initiative rolls.
Guys, I'm gonna say what Ka just did was a really solid joke. That was really good. I like that a lot.
Pretty good.
I like that.
All right, and then so Pierce. So I thought you were gonna change your name, but we are keeping it with
Yeah, I'll
Oshin.
keep it. Oshin.
Okay.
Oshin, yeah.
All right. So Oshin, what have you? What was your masterpiece? I'm so sorry. And Reginald,
Yeah.
did you work at QDL?
Good question. I made this, but am I the kind who has worked a day in his life?
Oh, interesting. I mean,
Are you like an Elon
you
Musk
do
person?
you do strike me, Reginald. You could be the kind of noble who, like working at a place like QDL is very exclusive and like it's like a highly placed internship, like through family connections. So it would certainly make more sense for you to have been there than at Radlin House, and you're probably double offended that you've been fired or laid off because you didn't even need the money in the first place.
That makes sense.
All right.
Let's go with that.
So you're all QDLs. Well, we'll see about Oshin. So Oshin, what was your masterpiece?
My masterpiece was the Lute of Thunderous Thumping. So it is a lute that functions as a club that when I hit something with it, I do an additional 2d8 thunder damage. And if you are a bard, you can use your charisma modifier instead of your strength modifier for it. But also, in addition to that, it is a sentinel weapon, so that it glows or thrums. I think it thrums when air elementals are nearby.
God, I hope I remember that if randomly air elementals are ever nearby.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I would have worked at Radford House.
Oh no! So you're the odd man out. Okay, so you were working for the Snake Man Zidian. So Radford's a yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You never heard of that, but yeah. Just I'll nip that because Radford is a lot in Studio City, baby. The Night Rider, Radford House. Yeah, you worked at Radlin House. Okay, for Zidian Radlin. All right.
Zidian Radlin.
Radlon. You can read all about him.
Not a Ratlin man.
No, Lord, I was born a Ratlin man. You can also read all about him in the Wonder Park section of the infographic. Okay. And by all about him, I mean he's mentioned in a sentence. All right, so with that, all 5 of you were laid off. Technically, however, Ashin, you were laid off from QDL. Mm-hmm. You used to work at that, but you came over.
Yeah.
So
it's after the merger.
But you kind of all were laid off very quickly. You were all master craftspeople, but for her consolidated thing, she just doesn't need that big a staff. She's kind of, has a lot of back stuff, and it's just business. So the 5 of you,
trim the fat.
Effectively, as Reginald, you had this amazing manor house. Its old name was Farsight Manor. That is what Reginald Ysmir called it. I in my mind have simply been calling it MEI Manor for now, but you guys can technically name it whatever you want. Right now, you're just referring to it as MEI to the people who are sort of coming here. But you guys have done a rather intense retrofit of the facility. I almost wonder if we should... we're going to show off the map of this another time. I didn't think to have, the file... And I have Jeremy still kind of... But Jeremy has a very cool map of this place put together, so we'll eventually get that in the Discord and maybe show it in one of these games. We won't do it today, however. But we'll mention some of the cool facilities it has. That you guys, with your life savings, selling all your previous magic items, turning in everything you can, Reginald giving you this space out of here, and, most importantly... The reason this game is
back office dealings.
What's that?
No, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Most importantly, as of today, you have received from the worshipful company of arcane artisans your official license to operate. Typically, the larger houses make it hard for new places to work, but 5 master craftsmen in the same house, they kind of couldn't deny that orders will be fulfilled. So they said very well. So you guys are now legally authorized to operate. This is the first day. So you guys need to simply make bank. Yes, Fonelin?
I thought you were saying legally obligated. Damn, that doesn't sound good.
It is not legally obligated, legally authorized. Up until this point, even though you were guild members, you couldn't have a house like this, or like your own sort of thing. Now you can. This music is too threatening. I apologize. I'll skip to... There we go. It's a little more ominous without being intense. So in this facility, and also do all of you players? I haven't made this public to share. Have all of you players? You do have. We have our spreadsheet. I will get this public at some point. I promise. I was too busy with infographics today. We have a spreadsheet listing all your hirelings and all your facilities. There are 20 NPC hirelings I've already created. My life is a mess.
Oh,
So I just wanted to mention that you have in this an archive, which you have found both from your own collections. You have put money into purchasing these things. You have also, however, found some really cool books in the collection of Reginald Ysmir, the explorer whose manor house this once was. 2 of the rarest being Nectars of the Gods, which is about crafting magical potions, and Miafur's Comprehensive Guide to Armor Enchantments. I literally rolled those randomly, and those are the focus of the 2 bonus rooms you guys have. I rolled on a table of artisan tools, and that's what we got, so that's crazy. You also have a laboratory, or laboratory, depending on how Mr. Glurk likes to pronounce it.
Laboratory.
There we go.
Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory.
Just about to say, okay, Dexter.
And the laboratory is all about potions and poisons, but you have some things about that. It's a study. It's got various equipment. You've harvested some, but it's also good. And then you have 3 massive rooms that are like the double wide, capacious, vast spaces. You have a showroom where you show off all the wares. We will say that you guys have already been crafting some stuff to like have on hand for people who might come in. You also have a private showroom where you'll keep the real sweet pieces. You have an oversized workshop that is staffed by 5 skilled crafters. You have under your thing, you have 2 apprentices, Cherish and Xerxes, and you have 3 journeymen, Drakil, Ian, and Jaramin. So you've got a big staff here. Again, there's 20 people. We're not even going, and you also have some people just in the smithy, and I think you have an alchemist just hanging out. Your alchemist is a warforged, by the way. Fun fact: your alchemist is an automaton. Her name is Udamata, and Udamata, notably, was also created by Quarket from Top Flight. When she visited here, I realized I forgot to put that in the science sorcery thing. Oh my god! In the infographic, it's missing that. I intended to, and I completely forgot. Have to amend the thing. The point is, Quarket is notable because she also crafted the synthoid body for one synth devil.
Oh.
However, the spirit inside of Utabata is not a devil and has a very different vibe. Other facilities here are, you have a massive workshop, you have a pub, so you can you're going to try to bring people in like that to gather information on them, and also you sell some cool magical drinks, one of which is called Big Dun's Burden, which makes you enlarged for 24 hours, so people get really big when they drink this one drink. It's pretty expensive. You guys charge a premium.
So it's like the Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, and
Okay.
the laboratory
That makes them get smaller.
No. You have big. You made sure the doors in there were big. If a Goliath ever comes in, you're like, you got to drink this on the patio. You also have Morakil's Mocktail, which it doesn't quite do a full, because that's a 4th level spell. It doesn't quite do a full thing. What it does is it makes all the sound around you dead for an hour, so you don't hear loud drunk people. So these drinks cost. The Morakil's Mocktail doesn't cost quite as much. The Big Dun's Burden actually is a fairly expensive thing. So the laboratory is probably having to put out the concentrates of these things on a pretty regular schedule. But Udamata is on a top of it. Udamata's on a top of. Guys, you can't write this stuff. And then you also have.
It's too bad for us to write.
Yeah. And then let's see. Oh, there is a kitchen. You have a couple cooks, or you have 3 cooks. Cooks who are making crew meals. There are cooks who. You have one cook who's kind of handling just like food for you all. You have one cook who is a baker. This is a weird thing because we probably should just get into the game. You have a cook who basically just gives you like crew meals and kind of keeps you guys fed. His name, all cooks are guys. Also, side note, I was rolling up these characters. I had a few things where like all the dealers were women and all the artisans were men, and I was like, I gotta mix. I try to always stick to the dice, but sometimes when it's like too segregated like that, I gotta do it. But all 3 cooks are dudes. Kiro is a turtle. He handles crew meals, just gives you random stuff. Navel Holodon is a high elf who is a baker, very precise, very, very specific, very demure. Holodon makes flowering biscuits. They are these floral cookies that when you bite into them, they like expand. They're very delicate and tasty, and they are served on the showroom floor to also like bring in people. Lastly, you have Zogo, a kobold, who is a fine dining, like equivalent of like a Michelin star style person. Zogo learns all of this there is. Zogo can prepare fancy meals, and does so if you ever want to do a client dinner where you like invite a client in to try to like sell them on this and wine them and dine them with a real fancy thing. All things being equal, Zogo just likes to make grilled cheese, but if you want a 6-course meal,
that is what a chef makes for themselves when they get home from their Michelin star restaurant.
That's his whole thing.
That tracks.
Exactly. The last space in this place is the meditation solarium. So in this case, rather than letting one thing be big, I just let you made one big room that's 2 things. The meditation solarium works as a greenhouse, so you can harvest various interesting plants that Mr. Glurk and Udamata can turn into potions, and any of you who like to go into the laboratory and work may do. But it also functions as a meditation room, which, if you recall, can give a really, like, you can basically give the command that all the staff have to go in there, and it just kind of keeps everyone centered. There you go. You have a couple of I think you have a couple of gardeners in there. One of whom I will mention. Actually, no, we're gonna let that come up in game if it ever does, because that's pretty fun. There's some shenanigans going on with your gardener named Maria. Actually, Velix has some. Both your gardeners, there's some shenanigans. So, but the most, I would say the NPC you're probably going to be hearing from the most is, and I didn't mention everyone from all the rooms, again, there's 20 of them total, but the person you're going to be hearing from the most is your consultant. That's what she calls herself. Lustra also was laid off from QDL. Many of these people who work here probably were, but Lustra was another high-powered person, and you guys, I'm going to say that you guys snagging Lustra is probably the smartest thing you did, and was probably, who here has the highest charisma? I think Faunolin has 20, anybody else have 20? Sheen? No, okay.
Oh,
18.
18. Faunolin, I'm going to say that you are the one who got Lustra to come with you guys. Lustra is the one who manages the private showroom. So she is kind of like your high-end, big-ticket, fancy kind of, sort of closer salesperson. But Lustra is also the person who's going to be bringing you the possible custom jobs that you'll need to make. And we're actually going to begin with a meeting in the private showroom here on the first day. As Lustra sort of, as the staff are now out, your dealers are on the floor. Piece of the puzzle, a tabaxi. She is out there just kind of looking like mysterious, standing there trying to entice the people to come over, ask about items. Spring Bell, the Fearbolg, is, he just really wants some of those cookies. He's kind of he's like, yeah, I'll do some sales, but I'd love a couple cookies if I could have some more of those. And, Briny, a water genasi, is a very just friendly, outgoing person, and she's there. So you have your staff there, and kind of the doors are now open. Some people are already in the pub. The pub has probably been operating a few days already, so you've kind of been drumming up some business. Asheen, you're probably in there checking out things in the pub with Riva Irons, the bartender. Forget all these names.
Riva Irons?
Riva Irons is your bartender's name. Okay. But at this point, you guys kind of get a little sort of like a shake, and various staff members are sent out to bring you all to the private showroom where you may speak with Lustra about this big, fancy first day. So, Lustra has very pale skin, gold glowing hair that is kind of up in an updo. She's wearing a very nice white suit. She is from a plane of sort of sentient pure light called Valo. And as she sort of sits here and brings you in, she is dressed to the nines. I assume you guys are wearing various, just work clothes of one kind or another. You all look great, of course. Come on, but you're not. But as she sort of brings you in,
Reginald definitely works in formal wear.
Perfect. Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, she will say regardless. I would like to apologize for my untidiness, but as you know, among people of Valo, I am considered a real rebel. She straightens something on her desk. I hope you knew what you were getting when you hired such a maverick like me. Anyway, and she pulls a huge...
I heard her several days ago or a while back, though,
yeah,
right? She say this every single day?
Every time you see her, she will apologize for how, kind of how edgy she is.
Okay, okay.
One time...
Anarchist A inside the circle.
One time she told you that she loves to dip her cookie into tea and says, I am sorry if that has scandalized any of you. I know that I'm a lot to handle. That's why I had to leave home.
She parts her hair to the side instead of the middle.
Not... she has, okay. She's not now, oh my god, but she has. She's got a bad... You can still see that she's trying to have that part removed with laser so you can't tell, like a tramp stamp.
God.
I like that. I like that joke worked. I wasn't sure about that one before I said it, but I'm glad it worked. Anyway, as
Lustra. It's a phase. It'll pass. We all have our.
It's not a
rebellious
phase.
well, congratulations on successfully opening MEI. I wanted
Pop
to
open the champagne.
Oh, it's early, but yes.
It's never too early for a drink.
Well, okay. Anyway,
just to make sure, Oishin, you and I are both rock nose, right? So we're going to be talking like this the whole time.
Indeed, we are.
I need to quit this game.
You know what you were
I was
signing
not
up
prepared.
for.
I'm out.
All of a sudden, it's a
Understood.
2-player game.
understood. And the bottom row is just gone.
And the plan worked. The business is ours.
Oh, we got it!
Just a minute.
I knew you'd pull through, Oishin.
All right. Well, I have good news. I have already been through back channels discussing possible bespoke magic items that you could craft for important figures. And I have 2 leads. One will bring you more capital, as it will be very expensive, and the sale price will be high. The other will not bring you as much money, but it is for a very important figure in town. And completing it could raise your reputation, which obviously my reputation is terrible because I'm just so edgy and rebellious, but it is important for a business.
What are the items?
Excellent. The first is a magical sword. This item will be very lucrative because it will involve several different enchantments all at once. We can charge for each one separately, trying to keep them all bespoke. At the same time, you can go through the list, whittle it down if you think, but my advice to you would be to make it as big and expensive as possible. In other words, try to bring in a lot of money right away so we can keep paying all of our bills. The second option is a crown. She kind of looks at fondle it as she says this. This would be a crown. Well, crown, tiara, diadem. The request for this is probably not quite as difficult to create, but aesthetically it will need to be more pleasing. This buyer, this potential buyer, is a very, very high-profile individual. They would like a crown that creates illusory fans all around them. And by fans, I mean people who applaud them, and also fans that make their hair blow.
Oh, both. Okay.
So, like, fans in both the meanings, is what you're saying.
And all the bases?
Yes.
Covering all the fan bases.
Oh, boy.
It's a bit of fan
I don't wanna do
service.
Sword.
Mr. Glurk seems to think the sword makes the most sense. Despite us having such a large crew here, I think both items are intriguing. If you'd like to, you might wish to go talk to your archivist to simply see sort of what materials we have on hand. I, of course, cannot give full projections. I just have the rough shape of how much things could cost, so you can go
Quick
to your...
question.
Please.
I remember we talked about this last time. Can I only make jewelry made of opal, or I just get like...
No, you can make jewelry made out... You never have to make opal again.
But like I can do special things with opal, is what it was, right? Or
No, I think it's that you just picked... I just said pick a substance, and you said opal because you rolled to have a fun. Basically, you
Okay.
made your much harder for yourself to do the whole thing out of your
it was
favorite
a thing for
thing.
the crown specifically, and not got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your specialty is jeweler's tools, but you have all the proficiencies you have in them. So
Okay.
yeah. So basically, she's saying, in other words, would you like to make a sword with numerous enchantments, time-consuming, resource-consuming, but with a high payout? Or would you like to craft a crown with more subtle, strange cosmetic effects for much less money, but for a very high-profile individual who might talk us up to their wealthy friends? Ashin?
This is a question for you,
Oh,
publisher.
Understood.
What's our like startup capital situation?
Your startup capital is this. You have some loan. You probably still have some loans and stuff. So basically, you definitely can afford to make your books are in a shape where you could afford to make this cheaper thing not have a huge payout. But you really gotta hope that brings in some big payouts next time. The other one sets you up safely, so like if you whiff next week, you're still in good shape. It's, do you want a big thing out of the gate? And she will sort of, as she's closing this, she will say, you may wish to speak to the archivist about the specifics before making a decision. I would also like to know if there are any less bespoke items you wanted to prioritize in the crafting, in terms of whether it's daggers that we would make on a larger scale for sale here in the showroom. We obviously have certain items such as we have many potions and poisons that we're selling here, and to be fair, most of what's in the showroom right now are what's it called, expendables, are things that use and people come back for. But she is saying if you want to start doing some things, whether it's something from your smithy, whether it's some bags of holding, if you want to have like coach bags of holding basically, the idea is that if you want to sort of prioritize that, she also, you may want to do that. That gives you a lower rate of monetary stuff, but a steadier income.
So, question.
Please.
We're underwater. Are there any seasons in Ys?
There are seasons in Ys.
We're in a bowl, right? Like the bowl is open air.
Oh yeah, the bowl's
Yeah.
totally open air.
We're not in water. We're just
Right.
surrounded.
Yeah,
by
you're
water.
surrounded by water, held back by
Oh,
magic.
I see.
Everything's
I see,
fine.
I see.
Yes.
I'm having Atlantis for a little bit there.
Yeah.
like-
Well, you're basic. To explain the
If
thing.
Atlantis were inside out,
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You're Atlantis. If Atlantis sank and the magicians of Atlantis said, "Fuck you, gods," and cast a spell to keep the water at bay. That's literally what, that's actually
Oh.
literally what it is. They were like, yeah, haha, yeah, right. Oh, our hubris means you're sinking us? We'll just build walls, bitch. Come at us, gods. And the gods were like,
Oh,
all right,
God
this isn't
damn
worth
it.
it. Yeah.
I did even more hubris.
Yeah.
All right.
But at that point, the gods were like, all right, you know what? They're below the water level. I'm calling this a win. Let's move on. Let's never talk to them again.
Remember, kids, hubris is good.
All right. Okay. So we still get periods where there's lesser sun.
Absolutely.
Then
And we are in,
others.
you're moving into autumn. And there are,
Okay.
there are even trees down here. And since
All right.
sunlight does come through the sun wall, for the most part, the trees are,
And question:
please.
Is our clientele seasonal? Like, do they have to go get a winter coat for their travels? And
Certainly
stuff like
they
that?
have to do that, but the upscale clientele you're looking for they'd be seasonal more just so they're not caught dead in the same thing twice,
Okay. Got it. Okay. Cool.
I assume there's a lot of merfolk population in the city. Should we be like, is there any particular way we should be catering our designs toward a specific cultural?
There is not a pronounced water-breathing group within the city. There are definitely some, and in fact, you do have one Triton among your staff. You actually have two water breathers among your staff. One is a Triton, one of the journeymen in your workshop, a glass blower and weaver. Her name is Jaramin Dulamoth. The other is a siren named Velix, who works as a gardener in the meditation solarium. Velix, interestingly, is one person who wasn't at one of the houses. She actually came with this house. She was a longtime companion. She's a fey creature, longtime companion of Bryony Ysmir. And when you guys, Bryony is gone, so she's just here, and she's like, well, you guys said, well, do you want to work? And you're paying her, which she thinks is hilarious. but she's very happy to have it. So yeah, and she's and the fact that this garden is very fey and like the design of it, she's like, oh yeah, this feels like home. Sure, I'll make some plants grow. But she can also breathe underwater as a siren, because one thing she used to do, hasn't done it in a while, is lure sailors to their death over their ships. It's one of her little talents.
Always
Everybody
fun.
has that time in their life.
She's not the scarier one of the two gardeners, by the way. We'll get to Maria, don't you worry.
The open mic night at the pub is sort of dangerous then.
Probably. You probably would not like her to sing. She can make you do all sorts of things.
So, is there any insight or intelligence kind of things I can do to, I don't know, figure out which one's a better choice, how well we can pivot to faster growth with the more clientele?
An excellent question. There are a couple of ways you could do this, and actually Asheen might want to sort of handle this. You could attempt to gather such information about prospective clients in your pub. You might want to sort of kind of put the word out to Riva Irons to maybe put some, shall we say, irons in the fire? Did it.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. So yes, you could do that if you'd like. I will say, so basically sort of your action items at this point are decide which of the two major items you're going to craft. Decide on your sort of kind of like what, if anything, you want to make your a permanent magical item, probably something of an uncommon or even common rarity that you'd like to have like a signature thing. Everyone comes to MEI to get the new blank. And then lastly, to decide which of the, no, I guess it's just those two. Those are the two action items. To research that first one, though, the Archivist is a great place. The pub is a place where you could maybe sort of put out some feelers to see what they think about all of this. And I think... Or you could just meditate on it. So, but at this point, sort of Lustra will sort of give you, sort of say, so yes, but we're very excited to begin, and I'm sorry if I have any outbursts. Like that one, I'm so sorry.
Don't let it happen again.
Yes, Mr. Glurk, of course not.
We all make mistakes, don't worry about it.
I don't.
Never.
She kind of...
Enough for all of us?
She looks at Faunalin like... I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. We're all human here. We all make mistakes.
I'm distinctly
No, we're
not
not.
human. In fact, most of us are.
I can help.
Excuse me, there's no need to be insulting, Reginald. I don't have to take that kind of abuse.
Is Reginald the only human?
Yep.
Yes.
Do we even have humans in our hirelings?
You do, yeah. Here are your humans on staff are Riva Irons. She's a lady. Whoa, she's a lady. And
I thought that was going to be someone's name.
Ian, whoa. Ian Carver is one of your journeymen. He's really good at painting and carpentry. He is also totally smitten with your dealer piece of the puzzle. Some of this should come out in game, but some of it's fun. I don't want to say it. He is so into that cat lady, and he is maybe working on something he wants to be his masterpiece. Well, you guys can ask him about that at some point. Open quest tabs.
A little exclamation
Trying to
mark
sound
in my
like the
mind.
lusty Argonian maid.
Oh my
no.
god.
Yeah.
No, please no.
Ian, it's your only two human hirelings are Ian Carver and Riva Irons.
Okay, so there's 3 humans out of
26
people.
Yeah, out of 20.
That is the second time this week someone has brought up the lusty Argonian maid in conversation with me. And, like, if I had a nickel for every time that happened this week, I'd have 2 nickels, which
You have
isn't
2
a
nickels,
lot, but
but
it's
it's
weird that it
weird,
happened
right?
twice.
One of the most well-known of the Elder Scrolls books for reasons. Yeah. Anyway. Alright, so I'd vote for... I'd say faster growth, so probably the one that'll get us the most renown of the things.
She recommended we speak to our archivist, right? They might have some information on this.
I can go talk to him.
Sure, let's go over to...
And I can sort of spread some word in the pub.
Okay. Asheen's gonna go talk to the pub. Who's going to the archivist?
Mr. Glurk.
Glurk will go to the archivist.
Well, Faunolin says she's going to the archivist, but she's gonna kind of walk around aimlessly, not knowing where she's going.
Okay. Oh, okay. Understood.
She definitely thinks she's going to the archivist.
Oh, I love this. Okay, that's great. I mean, I think I am. I don't want to
Are we aware of Fonolin's directional insanity?
It's less directional. I'm assuming you said directional insanity.
Yes, that is what I said.
It's less that and more just that she just kind of like goes with the flow and gets easily distracted. She
Ooh,
Understood.
Look at me.
You were on your way to the archivist, but then you saw like an
Yeah.
interesting plant.
Yeah. But then you're like, oh, this is that room I go in, this meditation. Why wouldn't I go into the fun room? I hated that room with all those guys. All right. So, is anyone going with Mr. Glurk, or is Mr. Glurk literally going to get your intel for you? Because that sounds great to me.
I'll go with Mr. Glurk because
Okay.
I've got nothing better to do.
And Reginald.
Faunolin thinks she's on the way.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So Reginald, are you going to go with Asheen, or are you going to go to the archivist, or do you have another destination? Because you've already made up your mind that this is stupid.
I don't think it's stupid, but let's say I'm deciding between either to do my intelligence or charisma. Actually, let's do charisma. Let's go to the pub and put out feelers and see what
Understood.
will sell.
All right. All right. So, let's do. I'll say evens pub odds. Evens pub odds archivist. I have rolled a 2. So apologies to Will, Glurk, and sort of Faunolin, but it really had no effect either way. Instead, Asheen and Reginald, you guys step into the pub. At present, the pub is a good number of people are in. The flowering biscuits are out. People are tasting them, purchasing some, getting some drinks. At present, there is one human man who is very big. Like a real big dude sitting in a corner, kind of like, I could get used to this. And other people, for the most part, are just drinking from the wine cellar. Riva is kind of like chatting up to people, and she kind of gives you a nod and almost like gestures over to demonstrate that there actually are a couple of there's a couple like minor celebrities in here. So you do wonder if potentially getting some intel like that could go down.
How well known am I in the East community?
You are certainly a wealthy person, and I would say the fact that you bought this place makes you a known figure for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, I think you're
I'll go over
people.
and, schmooze.
You definitely attract some attention. Let's phrase it like that.
Okay. I'll go over and schmooze. Let's see.
All right. So we'll say, hold on. Let me roll a random person for you here. There's a tiefling. You see a tiefling. Tiefling guy. He's a dude who's well known. He doesn't rise to the level of getting a name, unless you really talk to him a lot. Then we'll have to give him one. But he's a guy. He kind of like nods to you and says, "Oh,
Hello, friend."
Oh, hello. Congratulations on your
Firm shake.
Oh my, yes. Congratulations on your opening.
He has a warm hand, doesn't he?
His hand is very warm, yes, and he kind of congratulations on your opening,
Thank you very much.
Mr. Ysmir, and is this one of your partners? Are you
Yes, this is Oishin Moongobble.
That's what I was going to guess. I definitely wasn't going to say the Morthwell Bach. I was going to say Sheen Moongobble. Absolutely, yeah, that was who I knew you were.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh wow! Oh, this is very interesting. Well, your place is wonderful. I haven't gotten the beginning drink yet. Not that I can't afford it, because he jingles a pouch and says I can, and I'd love to buy a magic item at some point, but I'm sort of being a bit picky. But oh wow!
What are you sort of shopping around for?
Well, if it's a big investment for someone like me, but I've always wanted one of those, sort of I think real power is not being worried, so I love some sort of protective, some shielding brooch kind of thing, or bracers,
Makes perfect sense.
something like that. Because
Stay safe. You go on more adventures. You get more.
I understand this is it's an equipment for adventurers. I get that's the main thing, but I don't really adventure. I want to be able to run my mouth. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Wouldn't that
It's
be
always good to
great?
have an insurance policy.
I mean, it would just
Don't
be
worry.
so good to just run my mouth and not worry about it. That's what I always think. So, well,
Most people at outdoor shop, they just, I don't know, buy it for the looks or something like that.
I
It's fine. It's fine for the aesthetics. Don't worry about
I
it.
have to admit, I'm also intrigued. I mean, people are saying that. I mean, I've heard some people say, might be people you've paid, that this place, is QDL claims they're not worried about this at all. I know you all used to work there, but I've always found. I mean, it's very nice stuff, but it's all a little musty. I'm sure you guys might mix stuff up a bit. Yes, it was so interesting to speak to you. Oh.
Yeah, so we're keep an eye on it. We're sort of just still in the sort of pre-production phase, making our designs and such.
Yes,
But yeah.
yes.
It stays tuned. Yeah, I think now that we're under the from under the yoke of KDL, should be some exciting stuff here.
Well, I love the craftsmanship in this house. I've always wanted to come into this building, by the way. Oh, it's very interesting. So, you gentlemen,
Hold on.
you're doing some good schmoozing, but at this point, we're not going to role play all the conversations. We're gonna actually do the charisma rolls where it's in place of role play, which means you can maybe still do some role play. But a question I have for you is: do you guys want to maybe divide and conquer this, what sort of basically you are both going to, because this place can gather information as a thing, and I'm just going to let you do it and make the rolls for it. Typically that's how we'll try to do it in this. When gathering information, and Riva will help you, so we're gonna give you both advantage on the roll you make here. Plus, you always have your hero dice, and I'd use them because I don't know how long this game's gonna go tonight. I need you to, one, tell me what charisma-based skill you'd like to use to sort of schmooze people, and then tell me what your specific goal in what you're doing is here. Tell me the specific thing that you are going to try to find out about.
Oisin, since you are a bard, I assume that performance is one of your skills.
It is, but persuasion is much stronger.
Yeah.
And you can both do the same skill, for the record. I'm not there's no.
Oh, okay, sure. It's not that sort of thing. Okay, then yeah. Yeah. So, hold on. Repeat that again.
Repeat what?
Repeat the what is it? Where we get advantage and we can use the hero
You
dice.
get advantage. You can use hero dice to add even more dice on top if you want. But basically, you are going to make some kind of charisma-based skill check. But I want you to tell me like, for example, is one of you going to look into the person who's trying to buy the sword, and the other is going to look into the person who wants to commission the crown? Does one of you want to look into, or is it more general, like you want to know, do people really go and buy stuff based on, what influencers wear? It's that kind of question. Are you going to,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay, then since I was interested in the crown, I'm gonna try to smooth around to see who wants to do the crown, just to know how high of a standing we'll get if we make it.
Understood. Okay. And then what are you going to do, Oshin?
I'll make a persuasion roll, but I think I'm kind of. You tell me if this is already kind of where Reginald's going, but I am curious to see how much stock people put into what the influencers are wearing.
Perfect. Okay.
How much is a draw that is?
So, understood. How's your insight, Oshin? Probably not as good as that.
No, it's all right though.
Okay, we'll let you do the. So you're both doing persuasion.
Maybe I should have come with.
Yeah.
We're both doing persuasion. Okay, cool. That's fine. Let's have Oshin would you give me your persuasion roll first? You have advantage. You can expend hero dice. You don't have to do your D4 because you already get advantage, but you can expend any others after if you'd like.
Let's throw a D10 on there as well, because
You don't have to. You do it after you roll, man.
I mean, oh well, that's the same roll on both.
Ooh.
Which means you add them together.
So it's a 16 on both of those. I think we're okay, actually.
Okay.
So it's a 30.
A 30. 30 is a great floor. Guys, when in doubt, try to get to a multiple of 5. That's what I always say. Hero dice are to get you to the next multiple of 5. 10s are even better. 25's great. 30's even better. With a 30. All right, we're going to get to that in a moment. Reginald, why don't you give me your persuasion roll? You have advantage.
Okay. All right.
And after the fact, you can use any or all of those 6 hero dice to make it even better.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
8 and 1.
8 and
Alright.
1. Oof.
There's no rerolls there. So
Sadly,
what?
no rerolls.
I'll use the D20 hero dice.
Top it on
then.
top. Yeah, throw it on top. You typically do have to decide how many of your hero dice you're using at once. You can use them all at once. I wouldn't use them
Oh.
all for this. But, like,
I see.
you can't roll one and keep adding new ones. You have to say, I'm going to spend all these and do it, kind of a thing.
Oh, I see. You only get 1 hero dice roll. Got
That's
it,
the
got it,
idea,
got it.
yeah.
So right now I'm at 17. You know what?
Because you have a plus 16 to persuasion?
No, just plus 9.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you had an 8.
Sorry, 8. Yeah.
Oh,
8 plus
gotcha.
9 is 17.
Okay.
You
There
know
we
what? I don't know how many rolls I'm gonna make, so I'll also add the D12. Let's put them both.
go. D20, D12, throwing it on. I like it.
3 and holy shit, is that a 1? So 4 off a D20 and a D12 together.
It's pretty sad. Which one was the 3?
That was my D12. My D20.
Your
was a
D20 gave you a 1. A D4 could have given you 4 times as much. That's sad. All right, well, that does get you to 20.
It gets me to 20 at the very least.
So here is what I shall say. So you know to ask about the lizard lady Zishka. She is the one who has requested this crown. And it's a person you know about. The lizard lady Zishka, she's a lizard folk, lizard woman. She's very popular in town, kind of always sort of like kind of preens almost bird-like, makes sure her scales, often has her scales painted in sort of interesting colors. She wants some kind of crown that kind of makes her little tendrils and things blow in the air and just look fancy and have even more crowd around her at all times, kind of at will. When you ask people about her with a 21, you get the sense that she is certainly someone everyone keeps up with. She's very fancy, but you with a 21 aren't able to get to the root of, is she the most popular person in town? Like, is she someone who people, like, how much does a Kardashian's fashion choice affect many people, Who affects more people? Is it a Kardashian or is it like a Sabrina Carpenter, And at which people, what's the larger versus what's the correct ones, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a sense that she definitely matters. She is definitely a big person. Doing something for the Lizard Lady Zishka would be a big deal, but you are not sure that it's the biggest deal. There's a part of you that's like, she could be, but with a 21, you're confident that she's a big deal. Some part of you wonders if there's a fancier deal out there. Meanwhile, Sheen, you are confident with a 30 that despite people saying, oh no, I don't go for that, you catch the bracelet they're wearing. That's what all the high mages are wearing this season. Ooh, you see their shoes. Oh my god, that's what, it's like, whoa, they're trying to look just like one of the rune mages. It's very, this town is very, very image focused.
Got it.
So you definitely believe that if the right person wears the first MEI custom piece, could really raise your cachet. The question that Reginald cannot quite answer is, she's I'll say this, Reginald, with a 20, you don't think she's a bad choice, but part of you wonders if she's not the best choice. So as you guys ponder that, we are going to go to gonna roll a d20. On an 18, 19, or 20, we'll go to Faunnelin instead. Was an 18. So Faunnelin, so rather than something like that, Faunnelin, roll me a d10.
Horrendous.
5.
5. Uh, you have rolled. I just used our facilities list. The 5th one down. You wind up back in the private showroom.
Hang out with
Is there anyone in there besides besides
Utamata?
the workers,
Not
or
Utamata.
In the private showroom. No, this is the room you just left. You come right back into the private
okay.
showroom where she sort of looks up and Lustra says, "Oh, hello, Fondlin. Is there something I can do
Hello.
for you?"
no?
Oh,
I was on my way to the archivist,
from here.
just like you said. Yeah, I wasn't here, wasn't I?
Yes.
How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm just trying not to be. I'm just trying not to be too. I'm just trying to not let my dark side win out. You know.
Oh, okay. I hope you do well at that today.
Well, I'm a little bit edgy.
Okay.
Okay, to be honest, I've actually been sort of like slipping on some things that I've been trying to be better at. But on the other hand, it's kind of like this is why I left Follow. So like, why am I not enjoying life outside of Follow? You know?
You should always pursue your happiness.
Wow, that is so not what we're taught. That's so
know.
that's so interesting. Is that what you do? You just pursue your happiness?
Yeah,
Well, you seem to have it all.
I do.
Oh. Well. Oh dear. Well, you've really given me a lot to think about. Did you have any questions about magic items?
Should I have any questions about magic items?
I don't, I don't, maybe, I don't know if you should have any questions, because you have it all figured out.
Oh, okay.
But do you?
Do you?
No. I mean, I have your books figured out. Which of the options do you think is best, Fonalin?
Options for what?
Uh-huh. The business for your custom piece. Do you want to make a crown since you've already made such a beautiful one, or do you want to make a sword that will get us more money?
Crowns are so much fun.
Mm-hmm. But for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay. This goes on a while, so we're gonna go over to the archivist.
I think you just gave me an aneurysm.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Oh my god, is this how you feel all the time?
I do like the idea that Fadla just doesn't leave and Lustra starts breaking down. Like, okay, so actually I am kind of like messing up some stuff.
So, how I'm imagining the scene goes is like there's like a short 5-second pause, both of them not leaving the room, then just hard cuts over to the
Hard
archive.
cut to the archive. All
I
right.
feel like after who knows how long, she just holds Bonalin's hand and takes her to some other fucking room. She's like, "You go here now. I don't even care."
Yeah.
Then Funwin walks right back in.
I think she's yeah. All right.
A light beam in here. How are you doing?
So, as you guys enter the room, your archivist is probably someone that Will and Mr. Glurk have not necessarily spoken with all that much. But he is kind of still in the process of, he's the only person working, he's the only staff member here, so it's kind of all on him. He is a very young-looking elf. He is, he probably looks like he's only 100. He looks very fresh-faced. However, this will be a sort of basically a luck roll, or no. Both of you give me a history check. Let's see how much you know about the history of this specific guy. So give me history checks, gentlemen, on whatever. What are your modifiers?
That's a natural 20 plus 7.
27. Great. Do you want to add some hero dice to get it to a 30?
Disgusting. Oh my god.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Which hero die would you like to roll, or which ones?
Let's roll. The D4. Actually, no. Let's roll the D6.
Okay. D4 and D6. You could do them both.
Why not?
All right,
Sure.
so roll a d4 and d6, mark those off. Mr. Glurk, what have you scored with your history check?
I also rolled a natural 20.
Hey, all right. So what's your modifier for history?
Just 5.
Okay, well, you're at a 25. You want to roll some dice to get it to a 30?
Sure.
All
Or
right.
36.
Or
Hey,
hey,
12.
throw the d12 on. Roll a 12. You can get to roll a 10 or higher, you get to 35. Will, what do we got?
I got to a 1 and a 4. So 5, so a 32.
32. Excellent. Mr. Glurk?
I rolled a 5.
A 5. That gets you to a 30. Congratulations, you both hit 30. Expending 3 hero dice just to have known something about this elf. All right, so you both know that Flynar Mirastin, though he looks very young, is actually an incredibly ancient elf. Most elves of his age are kind of almost in their final days. We're talking this guy's 900 years old. However, he was blessed with an anti-aging spell a long time ago. So he still appears very young and seems very sort of spry, but he has a lot of memory in that elven mind. As he sort of sees you both entering, he'll sort of turn and say, "Oh, a visit from the partners. Oh, what a lucky day for me. Please, sit or sort of congeal if you'd rather, Mr. Glurk. Or stand if you'd prefer. I was just going through some of he kind of gestures to a large stack of tomes and scrolls. I'm still going through the collection of Lady Bryony Ysmir. It is very, very strange material here, let me tell you."
Why do all of your elf voices sound like they have final boss energy?
Because elves, on some level, are all evil. You can't be this beautiful and long-lived without some darkness creeping in. Didn't you hear how Fonnelin was torturing Lustra just a few moments ago? It's just our nature. When you're this superior, it's hard not to let everyone know it
What is
all
this
the
guy's name
time.
again?
This is Flynar. Flinar. Actually, wait, I really should be doing this Rings of Power style. This is Flynar.
Well, Flynar.
Flynar Mirastin.
I don't come in here often because I find you quite upsetting.
Of course you do, my gnomish friend.
Our advisor said you might have some good information for us on how to approach our next job.
Lustra did she? Oh, that's so interesting.
Yes.
Well, gentlemen, please. He sort of sets aside the scrolls he's looking at. What is it that Flynar can do for you?
Did you just change your name again?
No, my name is Flynar. Mr. Glurk.
No, Mr. Glurk.
Yes, I was saying it with a proper elvish accent for a moment. I know it is simply Mr. Glurk. What can I do for you, Mr. Doug
We can
Glurk?
all talk with proper elvish accents.
Of course
I
we
can't.
can.
I can't roll me R's.
Indeed.
Well, Flynar.
Be still, my heart.
We are looking into an enchanted sword.
Ooh. Constructing one or studying one?
Well, our choices are between an enchanted sword or an enchanted diadem slash tiara slash crown for a very well-known client versus a sword with lots of enchantments, which would give us a pretty penny. We were wondering if you had any idea on our clientele and how important they might be.
Understood.
As opposed to a very fancy sword.
Well, I think that the main information I can give you would be, he sort of goes through and says, give me a few hours, I shall come to you with a presentation. You probably were given some paperwork by Lustra, that you could hand him. Say, yes, I can research sort of possible costs in pricing and equivalent prices that have been done at QDL and Radlin House, and I can sort of give you the numbers on difficulty and how much it would cost, all of that sort of thing.
That sounds good to me.
Wonderful. Unless, would either of you like to assist? Are either of you proficient in investigation?
I am, but I don't like him very much.
Then you don't have to
No idea.
assist.
I will.
Okay,
assist.
cool.
Morthrill is also consistently covered in soot and grease from the
Yeah.
so he doesn't like to be around books because he feels like he'll ruin them.
Then,
It's probably for the best.
Mr. Glurk, if you would please give me an investigation roll, you will have advantage because this wonderful elf is helping you. So roll 2 d20s. What is your investigation modifier? I bet it's high.
Plus 15.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Good, pretty good.
And I rolled a 4, and then another natural 20.
Oh, so you're at 35.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Glurk, now we come to it. And this is a thing where, do you want to burn it here? And you might not be as helpful in the crafting we're going to do in a bit? Or do you want to say, because a 35 is great. But I'm going to say something to you, Kevin. We have an emote here called 49. If you can get to a 50...
So that means I have to use my D20 die?
Probably use a D20, but you might want to put that D10 on too. You've used your D12. You might even want to put a D8 on to seal the deal. All I'm saying is, if you get to a 40, that's great. That's amazing. If you get to a 45, it's great. The secret of hero dice is it's gambling, and I do it, but I'm always trying to get you to use more and then not have them later. But the point is, if you can get to a 50...
One time, I made the roll without hero die, but he questioned if I, like, you think you want to throw a hero die on it? So I threw some on it, and I didn't even fucking need them. So, like...
I was like, oh no, the 20 was all you needed. Yeah. So, a 35 might be the max you could get. That being said, researching comparative pricing, a 50?
I mean, is it a sure thing?
Kevin, with the luck we've seen you have, you've rolled 2 nat 20s tonight.
Hmm.
You've rolled 2 tonight. You've got to go for the trifecta.
Are you of the Douglas clan?
What would DJ3 do?
Well, just roll them all. Roll all those dice.
Balls
Just
going up.
all is gonna be maxed out.
I
won't
hope
it?
they're all 1s and 2s.
I feel like we need to do things with the crafting, but yeah, let's do it. Why not?
All right. All of
Put
them?
the D20 on.
Throw just the D20. All right. So a 15 or higher gets you to a 50.
13.
48.
Oh, 48! Oh my god! Oh,
Yeah.
he's so close. He rolled a 48. Oh, he's under it. Oh no.
Can I add one more now?
The rule is you have to say how
Damn
many
it.
you're going to do ahead of time. Here's the question, Kevin. Honestly, did you understand that? Did you hear me say that earlier?
I didn't hear you, but I figured that was the case. Because it makes sense. Yeah.
Why would you add that?
Because I'm an honest person.
And because you're an honest person, I'm going to let you can roll your D4 if you want to, but if it's a 1, that will be the funniest thing in the world.
All right, let's do it. Oh wait, but if I roll if I save the D4,
Yeah.
that could be advantage later.
Could be advantage on a roll.
Mm.
But I'll let you burn it now. I'm going to give you the chance to burn it now because you didn't explicitly say, even though I did say it earlier.
No, we'll play by the rules.
Well, with the good news about a 48 is even though it's a shame and a scandal and an outrage, it is a 45.
And you only needed 20.
And I only needed 5.
No, in this instance, a 50 would have given you something very cool. And I will
Oh,
even
damn
say
it.
that the 48 will give you the tantalizing knowledge that you just can't figure it out. But you do understand the possibility. You're just like, there's no way we can do this in time. No way we can do this at scale. But you do believe that that sword could be constructed much more cheaply than conventional wisdom would have you believe. You guys could daisy chain and piggyback some of the magical enchantments together, charging him the full amount, but doing less than the work. So the financial gain would be even higher,
I'm all about that.
but it's not as obscenely high as you could have done had you hit a 50. You and Flynar just cannot find the perfect you just can't find the stuff. You feel like you're dancing around, but he's like, "Forgive me, Mr. Glurk, it is just simply not within this archive. These points we have are good, and based on this, though I am sure that crafting a crown such as that would be lucrative in terms of the cachet, financially you could make even more than Lustra's already large projections."
Still feel like we're missing something here, but
Unfortunately we are, but as I said, the archive is incomplete as of yet.
I'm gonna roll a d4 just to see
what it would have been.
if it would have been. A 3.
Well, anyway, thank you, Mr. Glurk.
Thank you.
So, we will say that Will, Glurk, Asheen, and Reginald can reconvene. Fondlin, roll a d10.
Okay. 9.
So, Asheen, Reginald, Will, and Mr. Glurk, where would you guys like to meet?
Probably back in the private.
Okay.
Private showroom again.
Perfect. So you guys go to the private showroom. As you enter, oh man, that's funny. Is it funnier to have her go into the basement by herself? Is it funnier to have Fondlin go to the basement? Or is it funnier to have Fondlin still be there talking? These are both really funny. KJ, just even odds it for me. Just roll a die. Anything. Say it's even or odd.
Even.
Even. As you guys approach, basically, Fondlin, do you think you're in the door? Did you come in and is the door closed behind you? Is the door open?
I don't know that she's ever closed a door behind her. In her
Understood. So,
entire life.
so basically, you see the door to the private showroom open, and basically you just kind of Fondlin is sort of, as you approach, Lustra is saying to Fondlin, so what kind of lipstick should I be using? If you say I'm a winter, what is my coloring then?
Oh, no, just whichever one makes you happiest to wear.
But you okay?
Oh,
Oh,
no,
good,
just
you're still
everything
here,
looks good on
Lustra.
me.
oh, hello everyone.
Well,
Oh,
there.
what are you guys doing here?
I'm just about to ask you the same thing, actually. You know, never mind. We just went up to the library and talked to the upsetting fellow, Flynar, I think his name is.
Oh, I was just on my way to talk to him.
Arnar? Yeah.
Right,
It's
yes.
Flynar.
Ragnar,
Flynar.
something, whatever.
It's funny because Fondlin can say it perfectly. She probably doesn't, but she can because she's a high elf too.
Oh, I can say it perfectly.
It's just weird when you do it because your whole body vibrates with the
Yes.
roll of the R's.
You don't have a tongue. How do you do that? What are you trilling?
I don't know, but isn't it that one of the things that this rogue class has? Is that you can mimic somebody's accent?
Oh yes, I actually think he literally does have that. He's a mastermind rogue. Sorry, yep, he's got it. Never mind, just kidding. He could
That's
say it
super
perfect.
cool.
He could say it perfectly.
How?
Sorry,
How does it work?
sorry, he does have that.
Question.
He literally does have that. Yes,
I
sure.
like the idea
He's
that he
Mr.
literally
Glurk, look at
doesn't
him.
have the parts, but he still
He doesn't
can.
have a tongue. What is
No,
trilling?
no, but he makes the tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He uses his not eyes to stare at Flynar's mouth and then recreates it perfectly. Into a.
Nothing,
And he doesn't have lungs either. How?
All
I
I'm
like
gonna
the idea
say.
that when you go to mimic this, it just looks like the bottom half of whoever's face that you're.
Yeah, but in slime.
But in
Yeah.
slime.
All I'm gonna say that if you have, I shouldn't say this. This is for a text. If you have a plasmoid lover who's committed to the
Oh
situation,
God, no.
the sky's the limit, you guys.
Oh.
Any
Yes.
whatever shape you're talking about, move over, bad dragon.
He
God damn
said he should save it for text, and then he just keeps
Just
talking.
immediately went for it.
What
Not
I'm-
a single pause between those two sentences.
I'm gonna text you some worse iterations of this, but yeah.
He's gonna have some diagrams.
That was the radio edit of it.
Diaphragms? Oh, diagrams. Okay.
We're
He
canceled
can,
in
but
the
he
first
can,
episode.
he can definitely
First
make
episode
those.
Taken off Twitch.
Mr. Glurk can super
Well,
make
I like
those.
I think he's more of a sponge than a diaphragm.
He can do a lot. He can do a lot of
Alright.
things.
I don't like to be.
Prophylactics? Where we're going, we don't need prophylactics. I'm sorry, Mr. Glurk. Continue.
No, it's best that I didn't.
Unlike
Yeah.
you, I know when to stop.
We did some research, and I really think the sword is is the move. Like I think we can actually make this for a lot less than what she was thinking, and sell it for
Sword
more.
sounds like a lot of fun. Let's make a sword.
Yeah,
Do we know anything about who we're making the sword for?
Oh
as
yes.
they can pay.
There is it is a high elf adventurer. His name is Ryfon, and he is going on a quest where there are going to be many different foes ahead of him, and he basically needs a weapon that can serve as a slayer for different kinds of creatures, providing him with different protections, all sorts of things. And
see.
this is the list you guys were doing. I should have given you all this intel at the I don't know. I was trying to not. Yeah.
Do I recognize that name at all just off of hearing it?
History check.
Sure thing. I'll spend a D4 to have advantage.
So you get to roll the d4, by the way. No one's done this because they've done this. So roll the
Who would
d4.
waste this
Got a 2.
on
Got it,
such a
too.
frivolous thing?
That's a good
History
joke.
check.
History check.
Wish I used mine.
So that is a natural 20.
Whoa!
Let's go ahead and throw the D12 on it, though.
Whoa!
What is happening in a day
That is-
where Pierce and I both roll?
Yeah.
This
nat
game
twenties?
is
No,
special,
you
It
y'all.
doesn't matter
Leave the
yet. It
house
doesn't matter.
tomorrow.
It doesn't matter. When it matters, it won't happen. So I rolled an 8 on the 12, so that'll bring to a 28 plus another 8 is a 35.
35. Well, 36, but you got to the 35 barrier. All right, you broke the 35 barrier. Yes, you certainly know of Ryfon and Yares. He is he's a known adventurer. You believe that he has actually he is a sometimes ally of one of the sort of like more famous and I don't want to say important, but like one of the sort of like one of the real accomplished big heroes. There is an elvish princess sorceress. Her name is Nimia, and she has a human barbarian companion named Ivasar, and they are very like they're
Ivysaur?
Ivasar.
Ivysaur?
Ivysaur, no,
Ivysaur?
Ivasaar, and find out more about Nimia and Ivasar if you look up the infographic about Science Source or the Source-Sphere comic books. In any case, Nimia and Ivasar. So this individual, Ryfon and Yarus, is an ally of hers. He's adventured with her before. Think of him as like a supporting character.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So we would have it in with royalty if that's the case, then potentially.
Certainly his recommendation would be good, but he is not like an influencer in that case. He's not. People aren't copying Nimia. She's too big. Like
Right.
they're just more like, oh yeah, she's gonna save the world. But who's wearing the cool? It's that. It's like, Yeah.
But an adventurer who uses our gear and doesn't fucking die would be very good.
it is
Yeah.
definitely
advertising.
not bad advertising, but it's not advertising that advertises itself. Like you'd still have to sell that story.
Okay.
Whereas
So
if you get the lizard lady Zishka to wear your crown, the work is done for you.
Well,
So basically, what I've gathered from talking around the pub is that just looking at people, sort of observing things, is that people in this town are very influenced by what sort of famous people wear. So there is something to that. That if we were to sort of go with this crown, that it would be good advertising. I don't know that it's necessarily the best, most famous person. There is also the sort of advantage, that we were sort of getting paid on the sword. But we're also sort of hoping that they live, right? Because if they buy a sword from us and they don't come back, I'm not sure how that goes for us, but if they do come back, then it's a pretty good story, right? You know, I think they're a lot more even in my mind now than they were before we went and gathered stuff around.
Right.
That's a shame.
Okay.
It's a matter of do we want them. It does seem though that making the crown will bring people in. It's just a matter of who and what, and what volumes. You know.
Wait, which clientele would we want? So
That is an excellent question, Reginald. Do we want a lot of influencers and beautiful people? She kind of looks at Faunnelin for a second. Or do we want sort of more accomplished adventurer types who that word of mouth is slower and more specialized, but often requires more expensive, complicated, and impressive pieces?
And comes with lots of cash. Gold.
And she's kind of she's looking over the stuff that you and Flynard did, and she's like, this is far more than I was estimating.
And maybe we could, you know, sell the sword and come up with a nice, catchy tune to go with it to spread the word of mouth.
Oh, use some of the money on marketing? Certainly.
Yes.
Anyone who'd like to may make an insight check on Lustra.
Me.
Okay.
All right, Faunnelin,
so.
you do it.
Wait.
I've got a +5. That's.
Do I get
Insight?
advantage on this?
You don't
Because
get...
it's a-
Because of what?
Can I also roll
because
or no?
it's a wisdom.
Oh, no, that's only saving throws. That's only to resist harm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
12. I can't read her.
Can't
Can
read
I
her.
also
She
roll,
just
or-
said-
Sure, anyone can who's watching her as she was sort of saying this.
23.
23. Gonna throw any dice on top?
Yeah, why not?
What are you putting on?
I'm gonna throw a.
Wait, you can roll the thing here?
You can roll it in the game.
Oh yeah,
that's
if you click on it, it'll roll it.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll
Wait,
a.
you click on it?
A D4 and a
If
D20.
you,
A
if you,
D4
just
and
click
a
on, like, the
D20?
plus-
Oh,
the
man,
number,
I love it.
If you like
Uh,
click on
so
the stat
D4.
number for you, it'll
We
roll.
haven't
backwards.
even rolled to create the
Oh,
thing
shit.
yet.
Well,
And
That's
if
cool.
you
I got
click,
four
if you
more
click
die.
in the
Roll
bottom
that.
left,
Okay.
you
Uh-huh.
can choose
I got a
that-
1 on
you
the
can choose
D4,
dice
so I
to
don't
roll.
get it back.
You don't? Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, wait, you
I
don't.
won.
You don't roll the D4. You just you only get it back if you roll it beforehand for advantage.
Oh, okay,
D&D
well then I
Beyond
got a
has a
1.
game log
Okay.
too. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
And then I got a 12 on the D20.
So that's 13 plus what was your roll? 25.
23. Right?
23. So that gets
It
you
was
to
15 plus 8. So
15 says 23 plus 13 is 36. You've got just over a 5. Anybody else? Anybody beaten a 30? Well, what else are our insight rolls? We had a 12 from
I had-
Reginald.
I
18.
rolled a 24, but I don't want to spend dice. So.
Understood.
I rolled a 33, but I just wanted to point out, I'm very sorry, Philip, that we're not. I rolled 2 natural 13s. I rolled a natural 13,
It's a shame.
and I used my D20 on top of it.
This ain't
Sorry.
a game where that has an
sorry.
effect, but we can still put them into the we can still honor them.
No, we are not advancing. That
No, there's
clock.
no dread clock, but we'll put them into chat. All
Until
right,
we build
so
one.
Well, it never affects us. It only affects
I think
other people, and that's what's great about it.
Yeah.
let's
Unless we build one.
let's phrase it like this. Will you suspect that if she had a vote, Lustra would say, "Oh, these are the numbers, make the sword, guys." Asheen, you know that if she had a vote, Lustra would say, "Make the sword, guys." Faunnelin, you probably know all that, but you also know that like if you told her to do something and it would make her happier, she would she would do it. Like if you told her to do something totally against her nature, she's so confused by you. She is so confused by your confidence. She's just like, or by your lack of caring about it. Like she would do whatever you said. It would be if you have to go through the Sorfwall and swim naked every morning. She'd be like, okay, well that's okay. In Valo, we're taught that we must have light covering our bodies at all times. But okay, if you say so. Anyway, that's what you know. Okay. Anyway, and also the thing about her saying yes, let's do the sword. But she's looking it over and saying, well, yes, so
You know what?
Let's make
Since
that
I
money.
didn't take a look at the specs before,
Mhm.
could I take a quick pass on that with my plus 15 Arcana to see if I can
Sure.
revise it a little bit?
Sure, you can look at it with you can get an Arcana roll on that. Mr. Glurk?
Sure.
Were you saying
I
something?
just said let's just make that money.
Okay.
I did have one other thing too.
Sure.
So it's sort of occurring to me, especially given that sort of now that I've seen the piece of paper, staggering amount of money for the sword. That we did sort of talk to someone not as quite as well renowned as our dear lizard folk woman, but a tiefling we sort of spoke to, a little more minor, but he seemed to be after some sort of jewelry. It does seem that that's maybe a draw. So if we wanted to make something lesser that we just sort of have in
I
stock,
can make
like a
jewelry.
sort of like a brooch or sort of maybe some bracers of defense or something like that.
Oh,
That would be something.
a defensive brooch would be a wonderful idea.
That might bring in clientele as it were already, without needing sort of the influencer aspect of it. So we could kind of, I believe it's we could have it both ways. We could have it all.
You're rolling in the deep.
That makes a lot of sense to create some kind of shielding object. All right. Okay, how'd you do on your Arcana roll there, Reginald?
4 plus 15 is 19.
You gonna throw any dice on top of that, or you gonna keep it with 19?
Nah, I said it was only just a quick look
Arcana is a
over.
plus 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my specialty.
Yours is really high, right, Fonelin?
Yeah, but like mine's a 14 with expertise. Like
He has expertise. He definitely.
Okay.
Anyone who has a plus 14 has expertise.
Mine's a 13 with expertise.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel better.
I will say this just in terms of some comparative stuff, Fonelin, you have some shenanigans on your sheet. You have some very high stats, and you have some very you have a lot of spells and some things you could do, and you have your invocations, which are preposterous. I think you might be proficient in the most tools of anyone, although some other people give you a run for that. But what you don't have is, I think.
I have everything.
Well, what you don't have, you only have expertise in one thing. Some of these people have expertise in like Mr. Glurk. How many things do you have expertise in? 5 things.
What?
Yeah, the bard and the rogue are pretty out of control with the expertise.
The skill monkeys.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Cool. So, all right. So she says, well, okay, so you would like to make the sword then?
Yeah.
Oh,
let's do that.
I think that's a very good choice. Wonderful.
Well, from the aura I'm getting off of you, I feel like you really want us to make the sword too.
Well, my desires don't matter. I'm just a
You're
consultant.
also a part of this team.
Oh.
It's a co-op. You also partially own this company.
Fonelin, give me a persuasion roll on that.
Wait, they do? They do?
That's what a co-op means.
That's
Everyone
what,
who
that
works
was
here
the whole thing.
owns
Oh, wait,
it.
were you not there
No,
when we?
you guys all own the company. The other
Yeah.
people, they don't have stakes.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah,
paid
that's what I thought.
salaries. Yeah.
Huh.
29.
29. Would you like to throw a d6 or something on that to boost that to guaranteed boost to a 30?
Are we crafting the sword today?
You are going to craft a sword.
No, I'm not gonna throw anything.
Understood. A 29. Okay, so in other words, she hasn't joined. If you had a cult, she's not joining it yet, but she's definitely like her cheeks get brighter. They don't redden because she doesn't have blood in her, only light. Oh, sweet. They only have light inside of them. Oh, shit, that's cool.
But that means she can physically make the light red if she wanted to by changing the wavelength.
She's a rebel. She's not crazy, okay? Let's all calm down a little. In any event,
She gets excited. She's got RGB, like the gamer gear.
basically.
He just rotates through the
I'm
colors.
just gonna
Yes,
say
she-
this out loud so I remember it.
Okay.
Because I have guidance as one of my cantrips, so I just need to say that out loud to remember it for all of these skill checks.
Fonelin,
have those.
you have guidance too, so you should guide yourself before your checks. That's a me mistake. Sorry.
Guide me.
I should also be doing that.
Gives you an extra D4 before you do stuff, and it also
I'm
gives.
glad we've kind of just all forgotten to fucking do guidance. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't played D&D in a long time, haven't
Yeah.
we?
No. All right. Well, with a 29, so she's very heartened by what you've said. Yeah, she loves that idea. Okay, so with that, she sort of says, "Well, we can definitely do some research into the best sort of defensive gem. A brooch of shielding, for example, is always a favorite, but we might be able to come up with something a little more interesting. And I definitely think that making it as a gem to sort of show off the jewelry, that is an interesting way to take a shot right at QDL, as they have so many sort of gems and rings. But in the meantime, I do think I can bring in Raifon and Yaris. Would we like to... He doesn't seem like he would be as moved by a meal. I think he simply wants the sword. So...
Well, then let's get started.
Okay, well, I will let him know that we're commencing, and I will sort of collect his money for it. In that case, well, good luck to you all.
Does he give us like a full spec list on everything he wants, or does he describe like a thing, and then we have to figure out like?
He has given you the list of everything he wants to do. So here's how the following is going to work. There are 5 of you, okay? You have 2 smiths. That is 7. Your other crafters can't. Your 5 other crafters can also help, because you're going to be doing, like, you're probably going to be making some stuff with Tinker's tools, or like you're going to be using other tools to inlay things into this, so you can put the magic in some of these pieces and then sort of meld it together. So that gives you a total of 12 crafters. A very rare item like this typically takes 125 days to craft. Given the complexity, it would take longer, but if you guys can all... We're going to basically do a skill challenge here. This is how this game will often go when we're doing the crafting. If we can all get really high on this, it won't even take the extra time. You'll sort of get the additional rush benefit of this. And you're only going to be expending the actual cost of crafting, which is... we're not going to actually track, like, down to the gold piece, by the way. We're going to be doing it as sort of, like, degrees. So, you know, typically a very rare item, basically, you guys are... Typically, they cost about 20,000 gold. This one would cost more like 50,000 gold, and then you'd be selling it to him for like, 80 or whatever. You're gonna do it for only like 20, 25 and sell it for 80, 85. So your profit margin is gonna be much higher. Capitalism. So, provided you guys can roll high enough to pull off these crazy things that Glurk and Flynar have figured out. So, in a skill challenge like this, you will need to pick who's doing which skills or tools. You cannot all do the same one.
What is?
I don't know that I have any. Oh no, I am proficient in smith tools, but
What are the tools?
I assume I'm the smithing person.
Yeah.
Probably you would.
Die. Like, what die do you use to like use?
Very,
tools?
very good question. It is weird. It's the modifier you will get is, if you are proficient in it, you will get the proficiency bonus of 5, and then if you look up at your at the top going across the screen, strength, dexterity, constitution, those numbers, those minus, for you it's -2, +5, -2. Basically, yeah. So like if you were using intelligence if you were going to use a tool and we said it could use intelligence, or you were going to use the tool and it could use dexterity, you'd add those together. Does anyone here have expertise in a tool, by the way?
You could get
that.
Yeah, I have the option.
You used to be able to. The only thing, rogues can get it for thieves' tools, but like I don't think they're. I don't think you can.
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem like
Yeah.
it is anymore.
Okay, so that makes the crafting game a little harder. That's fun. However, tool rolls are would be very useful, very good thing to use.
I would like to do something before we like get into all this. I just want to say to the group, it's like, this is our first job, and I just want to say that I'm just very happy for you all to do all this with you, and I know we're going to be successful. We're also very skilled, and I believe in each and every one of you. And if you just let me, Philip, to do this just for ease of time, I would just like to give all of them inspiration, since I have 4 uses of inspiration.
Oh, well, Absolutely. You can do that. You'll have to do that on the daily because this is a 10-day process we're going to do. We're not going to roll 10 times. We're going to roll for a whole 10-day here as you do this.
Is this our morning ritual where we
But
get
the morning
ourselves
ritual.
pumped up?
However,
So-
to that point, I also want to know. I'm going to look into this a little more. I kind of want this to be a little. It's a little complicated with this stuff. Each of you technically can also give the facility basically can give the facility a thing for this whole 10-day process. Can give an order of all of the things that are called the actions on the MEI facilities. I would say you really need to do the smithy has to choose craft. That'll just keep them working super hard. I would think the workshop also, and 2 people can do the workshop because it's vast. You probably want to get, like at least one of the workshop ones should be it for a craft in the workshop as well. So 2 of you should do that, but 3 of you could pick other things. If you wanted to have them gathering more information over this time, for example, Asheen, you could have like her really being gathering information. If you wanted to have the archivist, researching the best kind of brooch, the best cost-effective, gem for that, you could have him do that.
Oh, yeah.
If you wanted to have everyone on the staff be meditating throughout this week as well, like giving them like wellness breaks, you could choose that thing. Each one of you gets to choose one of those things. Will, you need to just choose smithing. I'll just tell you that. You just need to choose the craft of the smithing. So, but everyone, tell me what your actions will be. Tell me what your daily the sort of this week's action, this 10-day period's action. What will it be? Will, you're gonna do?
I'm gonna search for information. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna craft.
All right. So Will chooses craft
In the smithy.
So we can't craft now that he's crafted.
Not in the smithy.
You can't choose the
Oh.
only one person can pick that, and so it's done. So you can pick one of the other actions. You could pick like if you wanted to pick something from the meditation solarium, you could pick harvest. So you guys are just getting more herbs for like kind of like upping your potion production for now. Or you could pick empower inner peace, and then all the staff are doing that the whole time, and that'll give you it'll give you some benefits.
Doing for the whole 10 days.
No, you still will also be crafting it. You guys can each give one order to the manor.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Bastion. This is a Bastion thing, and I'm not explaining it very well. Basically, over a period of time, like over a 7-day period or a 10-day period in this case, each of you can give one order to the Bastion at large. Each of you can.
A Bastion turn. Right?
It's a Bastion turn, is what it's called. Basically, you're going to say, also, everyone, make sure you do blank this week. What Will is doing is he's basically having those smiths, like those journeyman smiths, like really raise the bar on what they're doing. If somebody does that for the crafting thing, they'll raise the bar for this process as well.
Okay, so then meditation.
You're gonna say meditate. I love. Okay, so we have. What are you gonna say, Mr. Glurk?
I was gonna do the laboratory.
Okay.
Keep churning out these potions and whatnot to sell.
Understood.
Gotta sell our consumables.
Keep consumables running. Understood. So basically, and that's also probably a good thing for you to do since you won't be in there as much. You're kind of making, you are making your alchemist Udamata. She's in there going crazy. Everyone is meditating, which is great. The smiths, who are the apprentice smith Asthenos, who is an Earth Genasi, who's a really good sword fighter. Oh, he'll give additional benefit to this because he has a benefit when it comes to sword stuff. It's literally sword, so that's perfect. Your other one is Tariwin. She's a wood elf, so I don't know if you do the R's crazy. She's Tariwin Tariaste. She is also she's more of an armorer, but she'll be perfectly adept for this. But you have them going at it. All right, so we're meditating, we're crafting in the laboratory, we're crafting the smithy. Reginald, what would you like to choose? Or she?
Workshop, right?
Somebody might make sense to do the workshop somewhere, but you don't have to. The also, that's gonna have less stuff, but it might be good to do the research. It might be good to do the archive. It might be, or the pub, the archive, whatever you want to do.
Since we're getting if we are successful, we're going to get a large amount of capital. I think for the future, we should start on research. So I'll send
Flynar
to do some research.
Okay, perfect. And then Asheen.
I was actually gonna do one or the other, so I'll do the other then. I think I would like to have information gathering in the pub to basically find out if there are other big fish we could be targeting instead, since we're kind of not going that route.
Excellent. Okay, these do not require rolls to complete. The info gathering, the research, the crafting, they basically just like automatically happen, which is pretty fun. The ones that are going to provide you more of a benefit is the smiths. Basically, I'm going to by having the smiths working as intensely on this, we're going to raise all of your apprentices up to journeymen for this process, for this kind of thing. Everyone's going to be working at a maximum, and those smiths are, especially since one of them is a thing, we're going to go crazy with that. The next thing that's going to happen is that everyone, because you're meditating, you are all going to have advantage on your rolls because you are focusing. Faunnelin is making you take care of yourselves.
Self-care.
Mr. Glurk?
I could have used that D4.
You didn't need it. You didn't need it at the end. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
It wouldn't be a felt game if you didn't feel like you wasted your resources.
All right, here we go.
Oh no.
So, skill challenge. I'm going to tell you for this first one, my friends, the success DC to do this in the time you need is 30.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Easy.
Provided you have the skills. Everyone must use a different skill or tool. If it's a tool, we have to make sure that it makes sense. If it's a skill, you have to make sure that it is a thing. But you can pitch me on what you're going to do. However, I also will be rolling one of these at advantage on behalf of your crew.
Okay.
With some extra benefits, because since you chose the smith thing, they're going to be raised up to this thing. We didn't choose the workshop, so we won't get as many benefits as we get, but we'll still get some benefits. Yes, Morth will.
How many skill checks are we making? Is it just the one for the whole item, or are we making multiple?
Often we'll do more, but it's kind of getting late, so opening
Just
salvo,
one.
we're just making
Okay.
one.
Okay.
We're settling it. I had to tell you about all your NPCs.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
really important.
It's a
We
We
tutorial
also
mission.
didn't even talk about our character descriptions. I have no idea
That's true.
what.
Oh
never
my
introduced
god.
ourselves.
Okay, so Morthwill, tell us
Wow.
what you look like as you blank.
Morthwill is a rock gnome. He's got kind of frizzy hair that's all over the place, and like a big curly mustache and beard, and it's all like fucked up and bad looking, and really messed up and like burnt on the edges, and he's covered in soot except large goggle marks over his eyes, where he has his goggles up most of the time when he's talking to people, but all the soot is gone from here because that's where he gets the soot. They're always on his face. And he is like uncomfortably ripped for a rock gnome. He's like this little guy with gigantic muscles
How
and
many
like a really
fingers?
fucked up singed beard.
Oh, you
Double
didn't dump
fingers?
strength like I did? Like, I didn't dump strength. You didn't dump strength either?
Oh no, I have a 20 in strength.
Ah, incredible.
I'm a smith. I need it.
I know. Same here.
I just want to, before I forget this one. So for all of you that have inspiration, it's a D10. However, they changed how Bardic Inspiration works. You roll it when you fail the check
Roll
to
it
try
after
to
the
turn it
fact.
into a success. So if you find out you fail it, then you can roll it, and it lasts for an hour.
This is such casualization. You should be allowed to waste resources if you didn't need
Yeah.
that.
All right.
Let us fail.
Morthwill, what are you rolling?
I'm rolling smith's tools.
Smith's tools
unsurprisingly.
with your strength. You were just putting the work in. You're putting the
Yes,
hammering?
and I would like to add my D20 and my D12 onto this roll.
So you can go ahead and do it now. So first roll with advantage. First just roll with advantage. Let's see what your baseline is.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The base, it's a 26.
Okay. So yes, what would you like to put on top of it? Now you can add anything you want. Also, wait a minute. Roll your D10 from Ashin, because you haven't
Okay.
hit the 30 target. So you can use
Oh,
the...
we- each have
for
to get 30?
inspiration.
No, you don't each have to get 30, but the average kind of has to
Yeah.
be 30. We'll get... Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But if everyone gets 30, there's bonus things. What'd you roll on the
That's a
D10?
6 on the D10.
So you're at 32. the higher you go, like there will be some, like definitely exceed my stuff. So you're gonna put everything on.
I'm going to put the rest of my dice. I'm going to put my D20, my D12, and my D10.
All right, do it.
We already had advantage due to the meditation, so the guidance doesn't really matter, does it?
The guidance?
Oh, I have
The guidance is an extra
as my
D4 on
cantrip.
top.
Throw your D4 on top too. That's true. If you have
Okay.
guidance, I suppose you could be guiding yourself constantly. Sure.
So that's a 4.
Okay.
So that's what, 36?
36.
36.
And then I'm going to roll my D20.
Okay.
Oh, you choose the skill.
A
then.
20.
A 20 on your D20, so you're at 56.
Yes.
All right,
That's
Morthwill.
that's a 56.
All right, and you're adding the rest.
I mean, is plus is
Tell you
plus
what,
50
tell you what.
important?
There's no upper
Everything.
bound, but
Never-
if you want to
never
keep
not
rolling,
important.
roll them all up and tell us the total. We're going to move on to Mr. Glurk,
Okay.
who looks like.
Mr. Meeseeks.
Look at me. All right, Mr. Glurk.
Just a blue blob.
Which skill or tool would you like to use? Which skill or tool proficiency would you like to use?
I have a whole bunch.
You really do. I would.
Do
I will say you
others?
shouldn't do Arcana because some people. Well, yeah. If you want to skip and other people can go first, and you could do whatever's left, that's fine. We'll move on to Faunolin. Faunolin, please describe yourself.
So as fucked up as Will looks, the exact opposite for Faunolin, just complete other end of the spectrum. She is like one of the most beautiful people you've ever seen. Children in the streets ask her if she's really a princess. Like, just that gorgeous. Long silver hair.
Yeah, me too.
That's...
Wait, do you know what you're doing? You're just
What?
doing what Andrew did on the Wednesday game, and you were
No,
like,
no,
I
exactly
didn't
what I'm
know
doing.
I was supposed to do that, but now you're doing.
No, because now I've experienced it. I understand the assignment now. It's been made clear to me what I'm
For
supposed
those
to
who
do
don't
at
know,
this
on
point.
Wednesday, KJ, Dan, and Andrew all have like max. They all have 18 charismas. They're level 1 characters, all like super charismatic. And when they started, KJ just described her character, and then all Andrew and Dan talked about were how hot their characters were. He's like, oh, I didn't know we were supposed to say how hot we were. I understand what's going on now. I love every moment of it. Please continue.
Okay, long silver kind of wavy hair, and it stops right at like the top of her butt, so that if she were nude, you would completely still see her butt.
That's the perfect length.
Yes. And you have all seen her nude because there's a 50% chance she's forgotten to put her clothes back on at any point in time. And she can walk through walls, so sometimes she's just walking around naked. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. So
She
then
could-
you've seen all of us nude as well.
If she casts
I'm offended.
if she casts Etherealist, you don't really see her. You just kind of see a ghostly, yeah.
That's so much worse.
Yep. Oh, it's another
I'm not trying
ghost.
to hide anything. You can just.
Oh
look,
no,
fine.
it's another ghostly nude.
We have an HR department at MEI.
You don't. MEI doesn't.
I don't
Oh,
want
dear.
clothes.
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's
Mr.
it's
Glurk
fun.
is it's.
What are you concerned about, Glurk?
All right.
I'm just blobbing
So,
about.
Faunolin. So obviously she's a nude princess. We got it. What skill would you like to use? What skill or tool would you like to use for this process? Yes,
Speaking of
Morthwill?
being nude, I topped out at 69 on my roll.
Did you? No, you didn't.
Nice.
We have an emote for that. We literally have an emote for that.
We won.
Oh
We
my
won the
god.
game.
Oh my god. Okay, that means everyone
Crazy.
we got to think about it now. The name of this sword has to be some kind of double entendre.
The penetrator?
All right, and we've got it. It's the
Oh
penetrator.
my god. Right there. It's right there.
I don't have to walk very far for that one. Like,
Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
Hey, Jeremy,
Okay.
Philip, do you remember the fucking worms?
I do.
Oh, I do.
We all remember the worms. Those worms were
it sounded like
It's
Kermit during
burned into my
intercourse.
psyche.
Kermit during intercourse. That's what she said, not in our
Oh my
chat.
God.
Not in our text. Okay. So, what skill would you like to roll, Faunolin?
Are there jewels on this sword? Can I use jeweler's tools?
You
or-
absolutely can inlay. You can absolutely inlay jeweler's tools here and keep the Yeah, absolutely, you can do that, and have like some of the magic will be held in the gems for the various things he's asking for.
Okay.
100%. All right. Give me a jeweler's tools roll. So that is going to be
sorry.
that will be your intelligence, so it'll be a +9.
Okay.
And you have
And then
advantage, so
advantage, right?
roll
Because-
roll the
If you want,
2d20.
you can use your Arcana instead.
You could use Arcana, which if it's a higher number, but if you'd like to put the guys, use the tool. Use your tools if you want to. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So advantage. Oh my, thank God! I literally have a 1 and a 20.
A 20. All right,
Yeah.
so already
Um,
you are at a 29. Roll a d4 because you're guidancing yourself, presumably.
I was about to ask about that. So yeah.
Oh,
So
wait,
three.
wait. Hold on. First, roll the d10 since you were under. It's in this actually. You want to be just under 30 so you can use the inspiration. That's crazy.
Wait, D10 for what?
So roll a d10 because
The Bardic
Bardic
Asheen gave you guys all bardic inspiration.
Oh,
He's doing that every day.
I got a 4.
A 4. Okay, perfect. So you're at 33. Now roll your
33.
d4.
Yeah, every day as you guys are working, I
For
just
the
come
guidance?
by
Yeah, for the
and
guidance.
tell you how wonderful
a
you
3.
all are.
Okay, so 37.
37.
Now what dice you got left?
6, 10, 8, 12.
Throw them on. A top of 37.
Oh, beautiful. So that's 10. I got a 10 on the D10, a 6 on the D6,
Damn.
a 8 on the D12, and a 7 on the D8.
31.
Oh, I hope you're not asking me. I was just reading the numbers out.
10, 6, 8, 7, right?
Yes.
So 31. KJ, I am actively so sorry for what it is. So you have a 31 there and a 37 there. That's 68. So we'll beat you by 1.
That is the most KJ and Jeremy interaction I've
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Okay, so you guys have some. Okay, so we got some high rolls here so far. Again, the target is 30. Going higher than that is fine. Also, in other things, the target will be 30, but you'll need to be we'll need to be doing it more than once. This first game is supposed to be a little fun. So there we go. Thank you so much, Fonalin. Do you still want other people to keep going, and you'll pick up since you have so many? I guess actually, Reginald, you should go next, and then our two skill monkeys can choose from the thousands of things left. Reginald, what do you want to do?
I guess I'll use my Arcana, and use my Tinker's tools with my Arcana to inscribe the runes and whatnot onto the sword. I imagine I'm inscribing it onto the blade of the sword to give
Absolutely.
it the magic.
You're putting it right into the
Okay.
stuff. You're using the Arcana. You're probably like directing those smiths to do some stuff. So go ahead. Add advantage to your Arcana roll first up.
So advantage. So 15 plus 9 is 24, plus the D10 for the Bardic Inspiration.
Yep. Since you're not even at it yet.
9, which is 33,
33.
plus my second win, which is a D10.
Oh shit. Go ahead.
Oh, right.
I'm not. Oh yeah, you can.
7.
I guess that isn't a
40.
thing where you can only do that. Like I think you could do that even if you've succeeded to just do it. You're at 40. All right, baby.
Oh. No, I can't guidance myself because
You don't have guidance. Yeah.
I'm not that kind of spell.
I'm gonna say the guidance people are only doing that on themselves in this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? I still have a D4, D8, D6, and a D10, so might as well lay it on.
Why not?
3, 2, 3, which is 8 plus 5 is 13.
Okay. 53.
Yep.
Oh, what do you look like, by the way?
Oh, Reginald is Harvard. He is very much
Okay.
the Harvard look.
Okay.
So he has a fine suit at all costs. He has finely groomed hair and whatnot, always shaved, and thick glasses.
Love it. Oh. All right. Perfect. Well, so far we're a little bit over our target average. With a 69, 68, a 53.
Now it's
Asheen?
time for Kevin and I to show how we used up all our good rolls.
Exactly. Gentlemen, go for it.
After you, Mr. Gluck.
Uh,
Glurk. Apologies.
Mr. Glurk.
How dare you?
I'm Mr. Glurk. Look at
so
me.
In addition to all of
terms
this, I also have the spell Borrowed Knowledge, so
So
I
in
can just have
terms
whatever
of-
proficiency I want.
I think
skills.
Fondolin has that too. Yes.
Does it matter to use like tools versus skills?
I will say that tools, I think use tools when you can. Skills are good to throw in there. The real thing is when you have to do 2 rounds of this and it all has to be different things. That's when it'll really be. For now, just use anything that's huge and as long as it makes sense, be a tool or a skill.
Because like sleight of hand is very high, investigation very high.
Okay.
If either of those.
I think you should do investigation because you're the one who did the investigation earlier. I think you should be mainly focused on making sure you guys are doing this in this weird daisy chained way. So do
Got
that.
it.
So roll at advantage. You got a plus 15. Holy fuck.
So question then.
Yo.
So on the advantage, I either have a 32 or a 29.
Oh.
Do I take?
I think you should do.
Take
Oh my
the
god,
29?
you should take the 29. But if you roll under 3, it's gonna yeah. Roll the d10. Yeah, do it. That's hilarious.
I'm not following this.
Oh, because if he takes the higher roll, he can't use my D10.
You get
Because
to
you have
fail
to
the
fail
check
the
to use
check in order to use it. So if he takes a 29, he could potentially roll.
The
KJ,
32 is only 3 higher.
I have breaking news. Sorry, finish your roll.
Oh, okay. So no breaking news for this roll.
Okay, I'll do it if it's taking you a second to add. KJ, breaking fucking news.
6.
I didn't add your last ASI. You do have the 20 in intelligence we talked about, which means you had +1 on that roll and you also hit a 69.
No way!
Nice.
Nailed it.
That means we have double 69. Ladies and gentlemen, this sword is called the double penetrator. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I think that sword's just called ass to ass now. It's basically.
All right. Mr. Glurk, what do we got?
I rolled a 6 on the D10.
Okay, so that gets you to a 35. So now, what dice have you left?
I have a 10, 8, 6, and 4.
That fucking 4. If only, if only. Go ahead and roll all of those.
13 more.
48?
Yeah.
Understood.
I'm slacking here, guys.
That's
I'm
what
sorry.
you got on your investigation last time.
It was! God damn it!
I am going to say that you, Mr. Glurk, you do have this
Wait,
sense.
hold on. Did you add the guidance?
I don't have
He doesn't have guidance.
Oh, no. Damn it. That's right.
Yeah, he added the inspiration. However, a 48 is still well above the 30 you needed, so you're doing it as perfectly for what you and Flynar figured, but
Just popping up saying, look at me! Do it like this.
Look at me.
Hey, look at me! Mr.
Wow.
Blur.
well, all right. The average is pretty damn high. 69,
And-
69, 48, 53. Yes, Mr. Glurk?
And just to cover off the character, because it's the sexiest pile of ooze you've ever seen. It's the ooziest, the sweatiest.
Oh no, his
When
charisma,
the light hits it just right.
his charisma's 14. It's not that good of ooze.
No.
Like it's good ooze.
That's what he
Like-
thinks he looks like. Or whatever gender it thinks it is.
Hey,
Uh,
I'm a plasmoid.
Okay.
14.
okay,
Plasmin.
okay. He's a 14. He's a for ooze. But I mean, come on. You got Fonnel in there. You
The
got
best looking ooze we've ever seen, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. Well, actually, there was this one ooze. Oh boy.
Glurk. Here's how to describe Glurk. They
Okay.
put a picture of Glurk on Twitter and put "Hear me out." That is
Hear
Glurk.
me out.
But it's
Oh,
the real hear me out,
man.
not like the coward hear me out.
Yeah, it's oh boy. All right, so Asheen, it comes down to you. Theoretically, I don't even think you could bring this below a 30 if you tried. However,
Give it a
if
good
you
shot,
don't
though.
get a 30, then it is not a perfect run. So let's do it.
Okay. So, I'm trying to think about what I can do here. Because I don't really have any tools that are going to make sense for this.
Well, pitch a tool. You could add lots of
have-
things.
Because I have Tinker's tools, Weaver's tools.
I did not use
Woodcarver's
Tinker's
and
tools,
Smith
so it might work.
He hasn't used Tinker tools, so there's, for other little bits and things and handles.
I
And...
thought you did use Tinker's tools.
No, yeah.
No, Reginald
my
just did
Arcana
Arcana.
skill.
No, but he was carving the sigils in with the Tinker tools using his Arcana. Is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Woodcarver's and Weaver's tools left. So I could, in theory, make the scabbard, I guess. But or
Yeah.
I could
What about
see
the, like, the
perception check
wrapping
to
on the hilt?
basically do like quality control.
I think perception check is one that doesn't make as much sense here. I think
Okay.
there are times where it will, but I think for the perception skill, people always throw perception skills onto skill checks. So I'm like, I don't believe that.
No, it's like I was gonna do investigation to do that, and it feels like that's sort of what Glurk is doing.
Glurk's already done that. He's been doing that.
Do you have leatherworker's tools?
Mm-mm.
Oh damn! I was gonna say you could do the wrap on the hilt.
You could do Tinker's tools for various you guys might make weird little spell spirals that then Morthwill puts within the you might
The
be
hilt.
crafting little things in the hilt.
You
yeah,
tinker the hilt.
you're tinkering the hilt and or you're wood carving the hilt to have the whatever. Yeah, if there's a
I'm sure
wood
I could
wrap
do
around it.
whatever. Like if there's any wood accents, I could do that.
Sure.
Then would that be sleight of hand? Sleight of hand?
No, it would be your skill proficiency, which your proficiency that's a +5, and then that would be dexterity, unless you'd rather it be strength.
No, I would really not.
Okay, well then yeah.
Minus something strange.
So yeah, it's your proficiency bonus plus your dexterity. If
Oh,
you're gonna
that's
be
much worse.
doing that, that's worse.
Yeah. I sorry. I just assumed these would be sleight of hand whenever I was doing detail work. But that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
Woodcarver's tools.
okay. No.
It's fine.
I see what you're saying.
It's-
Your sleight of hand's like a +15, and that would be
It's
like
plus 11.
your sleight of hand's +11.
Yeah.
What's your? Wait,
So it'd be +6 for just without.
you have a +1 to dexterity.
Yeah.
What's your strength?
-2. It's a 6.
he dumped both of his physical
Because I
stats.
asked you. I
In a
asked you.
crafting
Yeah.
game?
I asked you when we were building this how
Yeah.
important my strength would be, and you said it would not be.
But I did say dexterity would be important.
Right. And that is why I put expertise in all of the dexterity stuff I thought would be used.
Use your sleight of hand. Go ahead. That's fine. You're in this case, you're not making the tools. You're just carefully putting stuff in together. You're not doing specific tool-based things. You're doing a sleight of hand. That's fine. Understood. At advantage.
Yeah. So that was a 1 and a 19, so that's good.
So that gets you
Very
to
good.
that's a 11 plus 19 is a 30
It's a 30 plus the guidance.
guidance.
Brings us to a 33, and I'll throw my D10, my D8, and my D6 on top of it.
Love it.
I
want Pierce to hit a 49 so bad. Just to
No.
be on brand, just to be
33, 41, 45, 46. Sorry,
46.
46.
Understood. 46 is good. Oh, and what does Asheen look like, by the way?
Oh, Asheen is sort of a tan skin, like he's just been out in the sun. He's not he doesn't have sort of an olive tone. And he's got sort of a reddish brown, like mutton chops. He's got a real Robert Shaw kind of thing with a mustache and mutton chops going on. And he has his hair is slicked back into sort of a longish ponytail thing he's got going on. But he's also dressed very nicely. He generally, as he's walking around, probably has a leather apron. For when he's in the shop, but outside of that, he has nice finery.
All right. Well, a 46. Well, it's not. It's certainly, you guys are well over your target for this.
We gotta have a very good first impression with our first.
Oh my god. For those wondering what everyone's making faces about, it's because Jeremy, who's an artist, has drawn something and put it into our chat. See, usually in our chat on Fridays, it's just like Zane or Liv or something like saying something filthy. Jeremy's drawn a sword called the Double Penetrator. And it's...
So quickly!
He did it so fast to the point that I think he already had it. I think that he's been drawing sex swords for a while. And then he said, "You fucking know this is going to be a 2-pointed sword." That's what that was his caption.
Yeah.
I think if I... There we go. I'm just going to put this up and kind of try to get this in a thing
This
where
is
you guys
exactly
can...
what we
There we go.
crafted. Perfect.
Well, no, you gotta scroll it down now. You gotta show. There you go. You gotta show the business end.
That's what I was showing. Oh, you're delayed from me. Okay, anyway. Okay. So I don't know that I think that the level of shenanigans that would actually happen. I believe this sword is called the Penetrator. I don't know that it's called the Double Penetrator.
Damn.
But that's a click too far.
We
But
have the prototype for that in the back. It's just there.
This is a scrapped prototype.
However, your
Wait, what were the specific enchantments that we wanted?
he wanted. I didn't go
Because I feel
into
like
it
that will
for
factor into
today.
what kind of penetrator it is?
Yeah. In any case, I'm now going to roll on behalf of your staff.
Right.
Your smiths and everyone. Ha, your staff? Okay. Currently your average is 57.
Fantastic.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right. They do not get guidance or the D10 on top.
No.
Okay.
But do they get advantage from all the meditation?
Not only do
Yes.
they get advantage, they get triple advantage.
Ooh.
I have a 19.
Fantastic.
Plus, they're hitting 30, for sure. Because we're sort of saying that they have sort of, well, they're not quite at 30. They're good 20s. They have, no, I think they are maxed out in their skills. So they're not quite there. But, just because I'm nice and it's the first night, I'm going to roll all of my hero dice for the PCs. Because I haven't rolled a single one yet. So that's 6 dice coming on top of this. Okay, so that is 2, 4,
69.
8. Sorry, it's only a 2 on the D20, so that's 10. It's 21 plus 19 plus their 9. 21 plus 19 is they get to 49. They literally just hit 49.
Son of a bitch.
They did it.
Show offs.
The
You like use a bunch of dice in the beginning for no reason. I mean,
No, I got us some. I got
no,
us some money.
he got you this plan that's gonna get you more money. All right,
Oh,
so
okay.
that's
I didn't use enough.
He didn't. He split up such a way where he couldn't get 50 on either roll, which sucks.
Yeah. 48, maybe.
all right.
finally
So
roll high and
Oh,
it's still the
I
lowest.
just realized,
That's high.
Philip,
Yo.
46 was the roll that birthed this curse. 46 was the roll that killed Salieri.
46.
It was a 47 to hit, and I rolled a 46.
You needed a 47. What an odd number, but yikes, that's sad.
Yeah. That's where it all started.
You just drew Frostmourne, bro.
I like the idea that, like, instead of making, since he, like, effectively they're asking us to make like swords of giant slaying or something like that. But I like the idea that we're more modest. We're not guaranteeing it'll slay. We're just guaranteeing it'll penetrate.
Yeah,
We're just
Yeah,
swords of
we're-
giant
we're
it's
penetration.
gonna get in
Yeah.
there.
Giant penetrator.
Can you
It'll
move
get
it? Yeah. I just think if you, I can't. I'm not even gonna say. I won't even say. Well, I'll say that in text for sure, but I'm not saying that now.
Then he immediately says it.
Anyway,
I'm taking a breath.
anyway, I'm not gonna say this, but yeah. Okay, the point is, my friends, you have crafted the sword in only 10 days, on target for the schedule. When he comes to get it, he's kind of wearing like, He's wearing like elvish clothes, but like it's kind of somewhat humble. And he pays you. He paid a good portion of this ahead of time, obviously, but he sort of brings the rest of it. He'll test the sword out, will Raifon and Yarus, and he'll
You'll see, this is a very finely crafted sword. Our best artisans, us, worked on this.
I can feel it. It is strong. You have I can feel it almost like as if it's like I can feel its presence. I can feel its pressure.
Feel
of
the
it.
heft.
I can feel the heft of it. It's sort of you can yes, I can feel it in my hands and almost deeper. I feel complete when I have it in me hands. I feel there's a heft to it. It's girthier than I thought as well. It kind of has more of a
We'll get you.
makes its presence known. These gems.
Just wait till you start
If you have
thrusting it.
this,
Yeah.
your legend will spread, for sure.
I'll spread. Many things will spread from
We
this
know it
penetrator.
was just supposed to be a short sword, but we figured we'd go give you the extra length of a long
No,
sword.
this is far better. I appreciate your work. He pays you, but he's paying you in like, unlike people who are bringing you like writs of stuff, he is paying you in cash, which is great. He's paying you in like leather satchels, like with like little rips on the side and blood covered. And he pays you, but he pays you the sort of the full price, which is you are making, thanks to Mr. Glurk and Flynar's work, you are making twice the profit, the already considerable profit that you would have made. And it is a good sword. Now, he is about to just go off and use this. Eventually, the legend of the Penetrator may spread, because the Penetrator is going to spread a lot of stuff. But, like,
I've literally
But do you-
cried. I've laughed so hard tonight. Like,
that's great. That's what we all
Do you
needed.
have all the potions you need before you go out there?
Don't drink and penetrate.
He's like, well, I suppose, actually, I might as well
Oh,
stock
some of
up
the
on
best.
that. Sure, yeah, that's fine.
on the house. On the house.
Oh.
The enlargening potion as
Oh.
a flask.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, the
Save it for on the road. You may
Oh.
need it.
I appreciate that. Yes, he'll get like a decent amount of potions for sure. Nothing crazy, but he's very happy with the sword. He appreciates what you've done. Lustra kind of shows him out, and he nods, and she says, we appreciate this. Please come back if you ever need more work. We were very grateful to work on this penetrator for you. All I know is I can feel Faunelin's hands all over this penetrator, and it really makes it special. So, with that,
To be fair, we all had our hands on it at one time.
I understand. No,
Yeah.
for something like this, you'd need a lot of
Penetration's a
hands.
Group
it
effort.
was a group penetration.
You'd need a lot of it. I can understand.
Yes.
It can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When you gotta
Some of
penetrate that
us more
size, it's gotta
delicate
be a
than
group thing.
others.
With that, Ryfin and Yaris will take the penetrator, and he will head out. As he heads out, I will say
He gets
that
crushed.
he immediately is murdered. As this is happening, I will say that Asthenos, your sort of Earth Genasi smith, will lean over to Tariwin, the Wood Elf smith, and say, "Do you think they know like the sexual meaning of penetrator? Do you think this is on purpose?" And Tariwin says, I honestly think it is better not to know. I suspect they don't. Faunolin does, but she's forgotten. But
I'm absolutely sure Glurk doesn't know. He's been very, very sincere.
well traveled,
Glurk doesn't.
but look,
Wouldn't you just divide yourself in order to?
he's a well-traveled
He's not.
man.
In any case, Lustra nods to you all and says, this was very good. The only thing I'm going to say about it is, I think next time when we're picking a name, she then looks at Faunolin and is like, Actually, everything you've done is perfect. It's fine. It makes perfect sense. Flynar, meanwhile, comes in and says, "Meanwhile, my friends, I have some very interesting thoughts on
Ooh.
a defensive gem
Oh.
that you might want to build. But I think, well, here, come and look at it. That we will save for next time."
That's the result of the archive's helpful lore.
That was the result of his helpful lore. He has a very good one. For you, however, Oshin, Riva will say, I've actually got a couple of pretty good thoughts on, there's a couple takers I wanted to tell you about, and she'll kind of give you some info for you to share with Lustra. What this means, my friends, for these future things is in our next game, we will talk more about the defensive gem that you guys will make as kind of a signature, more available item. Something kind of not a custom piece that you'll make en masse and sell. However, we will be doing a vote in our Discord for what item you guys choose next. That's right, this game will have downtime. We will be voting in Discord. Same thing as always. You'll have 2 options. I'll describe them tomorrow. You'll do 1 vote per day per person. And that will be... Basically, we're going to have the sort of debate over which item you guys choose. So players, participate in downtime if you want to have a say in that. Or be like Ka and just do whatever is said at the end. So you'll have some more input into the sort of designing that brooch, which Faunolin, you may be having to take a lead on that. But because of Oshin's benefit, because of Ashin's using the pub to gather the info, the options will both be good. I won't do like a stupid joke option or like a secretly bad option for next week. You've gotten good intel on some actual
Was
leads.
secretly bad a possibility?
With me? Are you kidding?
So what you're saying is if we don't want a secretly bad option, someone has to go to the pub every week.
Not necessarily. There might be times where the secretly bad option is just so good that the pub, but in this case, what he asked for in the pub was for some other people. Also, once you guys have some influential people, you might not need that anymore, and the pub doesn't help. Just don't do the pub every time is what I'm saying. But yeah, so we'll have some options for that, from some good ones. But the good news is, because you got double benefits here, you guys are in good shape for operating expenses for chapters 2 and 3 of this game.
Hooray.
So you don't, like, next week, longer term, and basically if you're sort of, once you get the brooch going, you might be in better shape financially, but you've started off with a windfall. Yes, Reginald?
Important question. Do I own this building outright?
Well,
Or do I have to pay rent somewhere?
you don't have to pay rent. There are taxes due on it, but because of you've divested your personal ownership to the business, so now you all own the building in part, and you do owe taxes, and you also owe guild fees, but that's baked into your sort of operating expenses.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
So
The
with
potions
that,
are for.
that's kind of the potions hopefully cover that. But excellent work, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I thought this was very silly and crazy fun. So thank you all. Yeah. To the Penetrator. Hi, Raiders. Jesus, I'm sorry. That's
So, to be fair, they came
Fantastic.
after all of that nonsense.
who came after the Penetrator? Oh. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Welcome, Raiders. It was a sword. They in game didn't mean it as a sexual pun. So.
But we, the players, did.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And with that, we'll wrap it up tonight. Please go to our Discord to watch old episodes Discord to interact with us and vote on this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little frazzled. It's been a lot of... So yeah, our Discord, you can interact with us there. You can also vote on what the crafting object they make next time in this crazy crafting game. Go to our YouTube to watch old episodes, the wiki to see how all these games intersect, because this one's actually set in a superhero universe. It's a fantasy world within a superhero universe. Weird stuff. So check all that out. Also, we will not have any more games kind of for Thanksgiving week, so we're off Wednesday and Friday, but we are back on Sunday with more helicopter madness. We have 4 copters in the sky at once, guys. Everybody's in a fucking helicopter. So check that out on Sunday night if you want to see the monsters who secretly ruled New York from the shadows of 1994.
Good times.
Check it out. They all have leather on. It's real cool. We're not making fun of World of Darkness games like Vampire the Masquerade, I swear. We really like them. Okay, we're a little bit making fun of them, but it's very fun. We're enjoying it more than we thought because it is a very good system. And then 1 week from tonight, we are back with Chapter 2 of MEI. Oh, man. That's good stuff. All right. Anybody else want to say anything before we sign off?
Yeah. So, Core is incredibly tiny. You'd need like a microscope to see them.
Yeah.
Just
Not even the penetrator could penetrate those pores.
No. And like even like any basic clothing she wears just looks elevated. Just her wearing.
Just her wearing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Are you a model?" And she's like,
Exactly,
"No,"
yeah.
but people take candid
In that
photos of
spirit-
her.
I'd like to add that Will always has resting bitch face as well.
Sure. Will is just, oh my god, they just go further and further apart.
Yeah.
Just the 2 hands on the.
Oh my god.
It's like the 2 like always nat 20 and always nat 1.
I
people
like
from
I
Virginia.
like the idea that like as he's hammering the sword, he just always looks like he's in like gastrointestinal distress. He's like, "Argh! Argh!" And then
Well,
it just keeps
like infernal like thing makes me feel disgust whenever I touch it.
So he just looks terrible as he's hammering, and then every time it cuts to Faudelin like insetting a jewel, she's just like light through her hair. Yeah, etc.
Is it that meme where it's that guy doing the huge old typing and then the other one's like singing payphone?
Yeah, like
You know that meme?
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Me and Faudelin, just two
just 2 hotties.
just 2 hotties, just making gear, right?
Oh my god, this game is exactly what I thought it would be.
Hey, thank God.
It is surprising for me. I will just very quickly Manzukas because I know it's very late.
Oh
And
god,
I'm
it
just
is.
gonna-
Yes.
I'm
Oh
gonna
my God.
carry the thread from yesterday, and given how much searching we did today to try to figure out what to do and who to sell to and all this stuff, that we were basically searching for the leads. I will recommend Glenn Ross.
Fair enough. You want the good leads. You want the MEI leads. All right. And on that note, thank you all for playing. Until next time, remember, if you need a magic item, you need MEI.